Well, hello,
Hey.
and welcome to a special episode of the Audio Roast Podcast, kind of. So Joshua and I had this idea. Let's just go on the fly a little bit, see how we do when we take a swing at bat. So we've got some questions formed up for each other, but we want to hear from you guys too. We want to make this as interactive as possible. So if there's something that you're like, hey, I wonder, and I've just never asked to either myself or Joshua, just type it down in the comments, and yeah, that's what we're going to do for the next hour. Just kind of almost to get to know you. A year into this almost. So, you know, that's what we're doing. So I know today's a big day for the big game and whatnot. So we're going to try and get off of here in time so that everybody can go and catch that without missing a beat. So without any further ado, let me go ahead and take care of a little business. Don't forget to go over to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/the Audio Roast Podcast and consider becoming a monthly member. There you can find upcoming events and special bonus features for the show. If you would like to support the show with just a one-time donation, there's 3 different ways you can do that. You can do that via Venmo.com/the Audio Roast Podcast, or the Cash App using the $, the Audio Roast Podcast, or PayPal.me/the Audio Roast Podcast. Also, don't forget to go to YouTube and search for the Audio Roast Podcast. While you're there, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to stay tuned to all of our future stuff in case it's easier for you to watch us on YouTube. And also, if you're watching on Facebook, you can... oh, okay. Nothing?
Nothing.
All right. Well, that's what happens when you go with the flow.
Yeah.
Let me come over here and do this little...
YouTube's a great thing. We can't see your comments on YouTube, but
well, we can see their comments.
we can. But if you're watching on Facebook, you can't see the YouTube comments, but we'll address those if we see them.
Good Lord Almighty.
Again, did we tell you we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants on this one?
There you go.
There it is.
Go ahead and tell them, Josh.
Yeah, Facebook. So we're on Facebook, so make sure you like. You can share. You can make sure you hit the notifications and react, because that all generates traffic to our site. Don't set up a watch party that prevents us from seeing your comments in our actual feed to the Audio Roast.
Yeah, save the watch party for the game.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got here? Watch me get hooked up, and you won't be able to do that either because it's a video.
Yeah.
All right. Well, about that, let me go ahead and take care of that.
All right. So Facebook, it's a wonderful thing. Al Hutchins is on here.
All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a quick little break, just to, before we get started, give you guys time to get in here and get some questions, and we're gonna take a quick commercial break. So stick around. We'll be back in just a second.
Hey musicians, do your shows need that extra layer of fun and excitement? Wow your fans with next level production and let Sunset Productions help you up your game. We can create custom and unique sound, lighting, and video packages designed just for you and your budget. Let's work together and give our community the shows they deserve. For more information, contact Jared Isaacs at sunsetproductionsspringfield@gmail.com. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Sunset Productions. Sunset Productions. Don't be a jukebox. Be an experience.
Oh yeah, let's see what's in our mugs. Well, obviously today we've got some Breakfast in America, sponsored by Classic Rock Coffee, and boy is it good. This is actually becoming one of my favorites. I really like this one.
It is.
It's not too harsh. If you're an entry level coffee drinker, this is a perfect way to start. So
I like the Barracuda, but it is a little tanniny, I guess.
Yeah.
It's got a little more zing to it.
yeah, it's got a little ooh in it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Al Hutchins says 5 ways you can visit Jared in person and make it rain. Well, you can do a rain dance.
Is that a question?
Yes,
I mean, you're
Mr.
always
Trebek, we
welcome
need
to-
this in the form of a question, please.
We will always welcome people coming and throwing money at us.
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely so. I'm going to adjust this here real quick and
Okay.
maybe put this in the middle. That might kind of be cool. Again, we're just going on the fly. It's not that organized. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I kind of like that up there. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just kind of keep that up there.
Okay.
So now then, oh, I need to take this and make that. There we go.
There we go.
Now you can see. So yeah, ask us anything. Ask away. Delay from sponsorship. Well, you know, we're making things happen. So Josh, let's go ahead and start. We've got some questions here. Now, you pointed out something that was really kind of well, what should have been obvious to me, but it wasn't. It's the fact that whenever you were here on the show and you did the show with Jody Guy Cottengem
Right.
for the greatest TV theme songs instrumental.
Right.
I think, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So in doing that, we were kind of so caught up in doing the rankings and that kind of stuff that we didn't get to actually ask some of
Right.
these quote unquote signature questions for the audio roast to you. So
Right.
what a perfect opportunity to do so.
And you being host, you never get to get these questions asked. of
Very
you.
rare, very
So,
rare. Yeah, I
you
try
guys
to
don't
every now and then
share-
if
you
it's
share that
if
with
it's
you.
right, I try to insert that so that it is.
You
I'm
do
gonna
drop
adjust
some
this.
little nuggets of information here and there.
Right. It doesn't always present itself, but when it does, I try. So this is an even better opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. What's up, Brian Betancourt? How is it going in old Las Vegas? Brian and Lisa are there for, I think, the big game.
Hey, did you know Lisa got Teacher of the Month?
She did.
She did.
Kudos to that.
She's my daughter's
I have no
teacher.
sound effects. My sound effects are over there. We're doing it all different today, just to show you that we can. Gay.
No, it's anything but gay. It's very good.
Right. So let's see here. Here's a good question. Deborah says, "Do you wear a mask when you go to a venue or not?" I asked this on my page, and most said yes, but some said no. Oh, that's funny because when you said a mask, Deborah, I was thinking like, I thought you were directing that to me since I paint my face and I'm like incognito. So I was thinking like a mask. I'm like, nah, I don't go through all that. But a mask, yes, I do. Now I will say that whenever I'm like, for example, here at the Riff, setting up for a show that night, and I'm here by myself, nah, I don't. But as soon as like before doors open, once other people and band members get here, yes, I absolutely do. And I will be the first to admit I changed my stance. I was like, oh, this mask stuff is BS. I actually said that I was mask gnostic, meaning I don't know if it helps or hurts. And now I'm like, okay, can we all just get on board and try it? And if it doesn't work, you know, in however long, but everybody needs to be doing it, then we could be done with the crap. So that's where I'm at with it. How about yourself, Joshua? Are you a masker?
You know, I normally don't go to a club unless I'm playing. But when I go in and set up places and get things ready, I am masked up. But when I'm performing, I don't. And it kind of depends on the crowd too. I mean, I kind of fall to peer pressure. Nobody. I don't know if you've been to the
Same.
clubs lately.
I'll be honest.
No one's wearing masks at the
same.
club. So.
And I shouldn't say I should. I will do better about that. It's not that big of a damn deal to wear a mask, so that's what I'll do. Al says I was watching Maine Cabin Master, and they were the Betancourt cabin. Oh, nice. So Brian's got some friends in some high places, if you will,
Hey, you
up
know,
in Maine.
Brian Betancourt makes wine.
Oh man, you know what I forgot?
You forgot your
I forgot
wine.
my wine that he gave me that I didn't have to steal. Just saying.
I hear it's good over ice.
Right. Is wine really good over ice, or
I
is it
think
better
it's-
just chilled?
Yeah, Brian, come on. Do we ice it? You don't want to water it down. Chill it, man.
Right. Real quick, before we get too far into this, how does the sound? Are we okay? Are we too loud? Are we too quiet? Just want to make sure everything's kosher for you guys. Again, this is just a totally kind of almost thrown together setup that's something different, something kind of fun. So,
Hello, Chrissy. Christy.
Christy.
You probably don't like being called Chrissy.
Right. What was the first album you ever bought? Joshua,
Ooh.
I will defer that one to you first.
Well, we'll probably be getting into that in that one of the general questions. that
it
we
is.
ask.
Let's
Okay.
go for it now.
Let's go for it. The first album I ever bought with my own money was I bought two at the same time, and it was Face Value and No Jacket Required by Phil Collins.
Wow, Phil
Yeah.
Collins. Nice. So for me, the first, I'm trying to think here because it's kind of a double answer for me as well, because even though I didn't buy it with my own money, the first album I asked for on my birthday was Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise. And this is kind of a nod back to last week's show, because this is kind of the phase that I was in, is in the early 90s when this was happening, when I was getting these CDs. I was listening on the radio to country music and stuff. So my rebelness was like, oh, I need all these rap CDs and gangster rap, and let's branch out. So the first CD I ever.
And you were growing up where?
This is when I was in Chillicothe, so living on a farm,
yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I need some.
So you were
I need
living
some
in the
urban
hood.
in my
You
life,
lived-
yeah.
You could relate with hood life. So.
Well, I thought I could for a year or two. I hung for a year or two, and then I was like, okay, next. But the first one I actually bought with my own money. I say that way because it was through the what was it, the B&G music, like the Columbia House, that
Columbia
kind of
House
thing. So it was the Tupac, kind of a greatest hits. It was a 2-disc kind of thing. So it had California Love and Ain't Mad at You, some of the songs that we featured last week. So that was the first one I actually bought with my own money for probably a penny and never paid it off. So you know how that goes.
Right.
Good deal. Brian says, sounds great. Well, that's good to know.
Okay.
We were kind of nervous about that.
Chilled is better.
Yes.
Everything's better when you're chilled, man.
That's right. Yo, that's what's up. Jewel says, Jared, people make too much a big deal of issues with masks. I wear a mask going to the grocery store. Same. Or anywhere I've been noticing people not wearing masks, unfortunately. Yeah, and I think Deborah was asking specifically about at venues and stuff, but anywhere in public, I'm always wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Which is weird that, why would we not for a venue? It's kind of, and that's like where we're supposed to be supporting
Because
the most.
people are drinking.
And I get that. And I get
there's
that.
those
And that
exceptions
is,
if you're eating and drinking.
that is kind of a green. I read that comment. It is kind of a gray area by nature if you're stuffing your face. I want to scroll up here. Mindy says chilled is better. That's what I thought. Al Hutchins says Super Green was his first album, I guess. Deb says it's kosher. Sounds fine. Good deal. Deborah says I think my first album was Led Zeppelin 4. Got it at Kmart. Good old Kmart, man. Yeah. The Red Light Special.
Blue light.
Blue lights.
Blue
Oh
light
yeah.
special.
Oh, that's a little TLC
Two
action.
cashiers and blue light special.
Let's see here. I was youngest of 4, so I acquired copies. Also, radio worked for me. Yeah, I can't tell you how many mixtapes I made. Do you guys remember making mixtapes and like you have to have your finger on the record button as the previous song is wrapping up, and then you have your other hand on the antenna to make sure that like you're gonna get the best signal possible, and you hit record on the next
calling
song.
into the radio station requesting a song.
Oh, I didn't even go that far. It was just like a shot in the dark. Like, okay, and the song ends and record. Okay, this song sucks. Rewind it and redo it.
Or you hear the song coming on, it's like, crap, get a tape in there, and you miss like the first 30 seconds of it.
Yep. Christy says, I've been called worse, so it's all good with the name.
We could call you worse.
Let's see. Christy also says, NSYNC debut album was my first one. Very nice. Very nice.
Children.
Christy, did you get to check out the first ever classic album clash that we did with the Backstreet Boys, where we did Millennium versus Backstreet's Back? If not, you should go check that out. That's actually, and we'll get into this in a couple of weeks when we do our next Talk and Shop, about kind of some of the numbers and stuff, because I find some of that fascinating. I don't know, you guys might be bored to death of it, but oh well, I'm going to share it with you anyway.
At least you don't have to hear it like twice a month about the numbers and stuff.
Right. So Chet says, worst one-liner you ever used to say hello. Wow, that's a good one. Well, I don't know. Sup, bitch? I don't know.
I've been married for so long. I never even use one-liners. So
yeah, I don't know
that issue of picking up people
really
in the bar.
Well, I mean, I could tell you my old go-to, but I don't know how applicable it would be to most of the people watching.
Right. Well,
how's it hanging? And then they either say, well, there's two different options.
yeah,
two
the
different
chicks
paths
don't
you can
like
go.
that. I mean, it wouldn't work for me. So.
Right. How's it hanging? It's not Roxanne, Jared. It's Kmart. Yeah, there you go. Roxanne. Aging myself here. The Monkees. Hey, nice. No, it's good stuff.
Hey, I bought a Monkees album when I was around that same time.
My dad
I like
had those kind of albums, so I didn't have to buy them. I just played them. Christy also says, to me, it should be considered common courtesy when it comes to masks, and people should have respected people's physical bubbles before the pandemic, let alone currently. Absolutely.
Oh, dude,
and I have to catch myself whenever like I see people. I'm such a people person. I'm a hugger. I'm a handshaker. And I can't tell you how many times I'm like, hey, how's it going? Oh. And then I'm like, I'm sorry I made that awkward for you. That was just my reaction. So I'm trying to do better about that too. But you're right, Christy. We do need to keep that in mind.
You know, if there's nothing that I appreciate more about this pandemic is the personal space. I'm a big personal space person.
Yeah.
I don't mind the 6 foot rule. It does not bother me. You know, close friends, I can get huggy and everything, but you know what? Keep your distance.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know you. Leave me
Right.
alone.
Yeah.
And so that I've really enjoyed the personal space.
That's totally
Not that
understandable.
I'm antisocial by any means.
Right. But yeah,
Well, you
there's
know.
limits to everything.
Yep.
Cheryl says, I think my first album I purchased was Dawkins. So
Nice.
my older stepbrother, that was, if you looked at his cassette collection, you would assume that that's his favorite band because he had like, I don't know, 7 or 8 different ones. So I was like, oh, well, he could do without a couple of these. So that's actually how I got introduced to Dawkins.
Did he notice?
No.
No.
No, I think I still have them. I think I still have them.
I think I did that with my brother's White Lion album. It's like, I'm just gonna
Nice.
put this in
I'm
my
gonna,
car.
yeah,
and you're
I'm
never
gonna put this in the
see it
player and
again.
forget
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Al says, Shot in the Dark was on hourly rotation back then. That's not a bad thing.
Mhm.
She said she did catch up, participated quite a bit. That's right. I do remember that now. Lisa says, this will age me. I don't care about aging, you guys. Like, it's all good. Music's music, man. Sean Cassidy was my first album and was in love. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
Sean Cassidy or Leaf Cassidy?
No, let's
No.
Leaf. Eric.
Leaf. Yeah, Leaf Garrison. Leaf
There-
Garrett. Leaf something.
Yeah, Leaf something.
Leaf
yeah.
it to Beaver.
Yeah. No, Sean Cassidy was the guy that was on the
Partridge?
Hardy Boys.
Oh, that's
David
right.
Cassidy was
yeah.
on the Partridge Family.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yep.
David Cassidy. Yeah.
Yep, and they both were heartthrobs.
Yes. I'm going to mute some of these extra. I just looked down and saw we've got extra mics on, so I'm muting some of that. Okay, so I lost my place.
Okay, Lisa, who was a better entertainer, Sean Cassidy or David?
Ooh, yeah. Do tell us. I've had to deal with people literally laughing at me last year for wearing masks, and to me personally, it's ignorance, and I've learned not to care what people think also. Yeah, absolutely, Jules. I'll drink to that. Here's the thing, like, I actually have started giving people dirty looks whenever I see them, like, in the grocery store and stuff without it, or they've got their mask, but it's, like, way down here. I'm like, I give them an old dirty eye. And you should, too. So let's see here. Let's keep this ball rolling. Barb says, Hot August Night by Neil Diamond. Brian Betancourt, Kiss Rock and Roll was the first album he bought. Julia says,
we said music groups. Kiss is
oh, listen to this guy.
I'm sorry. I've got my thoughts about Kiss.
Yeah, they're, well, let me write that down and save it for another show. Julie says, just got here. What'd I miss? We're talking about what our first albums were that we bought with our own money. So Julia, let us know what yours was. We're just kind of back and forthing some questions that are like the signature questions here on the Audio Roast podcast that we normally would ask our guests that we have sitting right here. And we're just doing it to each other.
We're the guests today.
Right now we're on question number 1. So
Yeah.
you haven't missed much. Cheryl says, I'm definitely a space invader. I'm all about the hugs. Nice.
Well, that's
Well,
all right because we.
I
know you.
think there's an eye contact thing too.
I think part of it is also that one of the dirty little secrets about being a musician is that everybody's your friend once you come off the stage,
Yeah.
and normally everyone's drunk that really wants
Yeah.
to talk to you. So when you've got some sort of drunk guy that's like 5 inches from your face, telling you about when they were a guitarist in high school,
As you're
that-
trying to tear down your
yeah.
stuff.
or
Yeah.
or even just trying to take a break after playing 45 minutes and sweating, and it's like,
Right.
I need a breather, dude. And I
Yep.
don't want to breathe
Right.
your alcohol
Yeah.
into my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the thing too. You're right. You're exactly right. They can't be like this. They have to be like, "Oh man, it was such a
Yeah.
great set."
If you ever need another guitarist,
All right.
I used to play in high
Don't
school.
be that
Yeah,
guy.
Don't be that guy.
Or gal. Come on
and
now.
that's one of the crosses you have to bear as a musician, because you have to be friendly and you have to socialize with people because you don't want to alienate your fans.
Right.
But sometimes alcohol removes a little bit of that social graces that you have.
What was that?
I have no idea. Do we
Who
have
knows?
a guest?
I don't know. I should have shut that door.
We
but I
probably
didn't.
should have.
Oh well, we'll do that on the next commercial break.
Yep.
In the meantime, who knows what's going to happen?
Oh.
Okay, so Julia says, she had a crush on Sean Cassidy also. Mike McCorder says, the first record I bought with my own money was Kiss Alive, back when there was Consumers Hardware, one on College Street. Nice.
Wow.
Good stuff, man. I like that. I don't care what Joshua says. I like that your introduction to owning your own music was Kiss. That's not a bad place to start, if I'm being honest. Julius Lisa says Julia and I need to be on the show together. I think that's a good idea. Christy says, "Hey, music is music, no age, but."
Rip to Christopher Plummer.
Oh yes, rest in peace, Christopher Plummer. Yes, yes, from The Sound of Music. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. There's, if you notice, like I do try to pay tribute to musicians and stuff that pass when they pass, or since we're kind of almost a talk showy, podcasty thing, like when Regis Philbin passed away, I think I did a little blurb on the screen, things like that. So I tend to not go so much in the actors and that kind of stuff. But you're right, Christopher Plummer was in The Sound of Music, so I think there's some crossover there. So yes, indeed. And regardless, rest in peace to anybody that passes like that, that has an impact on people. And catch the music in the Class Monster movies like Invisible Man, Creature of the Black Lagoon, etc. Yeah, man, those are definitely classics. Al's first album. Oh, come on, now you're starting some shit, isn't it?
Am I?
My first album was Hootie. Nice. Mine was the Muppet Show TV soundtrack. It's time to play the
probably
music.
one of the best grunge bands ever.
Where's my music? I need crickets. So let's. Let's see. Okay, so let me. Cheryl says, "Love me some Sean Cassidy and Leif Garrett." Okay, so it was Leif Garrett. I had their 45s. My mom bought those though. I was 10. Predictions on tonight's game.
There will be a winner and a loser.
There will.
There will be.
There will be. I think the winning team will have some red on.
I hope so. Or else it's
I think
gonna be
both teams wear
unbearable tomorrow.
Right. No,
They do both wear red, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I don't
See, I'm not a
sports
sports guy either.
Yeah. We hope the team that most people are cheering for, that are watching along, we hope your team wins. I'll put it that way. If you saw the beginning of the show, go Chiefs. Yeah. So there's that. Mike says, most people that hate Kiss love bands that wouldn't exist without them.
I agree.
Yep. It's hard to argue.
I don't hate Kiss. They're just not my favorite. I don't like to rib people about it.
Mike also says, I just did that one. So we've got Marsha Poole here.
Mom, what are you doing here?
My first album I bought was The Beatles yesterday and today.
And I think you still have that one.
Oh, you didn't take that one?
No, I didn't take that one. I don't think my mom would let me take that one.
You'd probably go to reach for it and you'd come back with nubs.
Right.
She'd chop them off. All right. Well, thanks for joining us there, Mama Poole. Mike says Leif Garrett died in the movie The Outsiders, but Bob deserved it. Okay. Not really familiar.
You haven't seen The Outsiders?
I don't think so. I'm not really a movie guy.
Ralph Macchio.
Oh, really?
Tom Cruise.
Well, I got some homework to do.
Who else was in that? Patrick Swayze.
Well, that's a list.
This was early 80s.
I bet you if I saw like a
Emilio
picture or something.
Estevez, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, there's too many people here that I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
So
Stay
Jules,
Golden Pony Boy. Come on.
Okay, so yeah, that sounds familiar.
Classic movie, man. You gotta see it.
Jules says, okay, let's talk about coffee, Barracuda blend. It does have quite a bit of a real kick.
It does.
But Back in Black blend, that is what I really liked a lot. Also, or their medium roast blend. Yeah, and this is kind of a light to medium roast, I believe. The Breakfast in America.
Yeah, it's your black breakfast blend.
Yeah. Agreed. Rush opened for Kiss. So did a lot of other bands. Absolutely. Also bought Andy Gibb. He was popular and really cute. Yeah, I could see that. Oh my God, The Outsiders is a classic. The Brat Pack. Okay, gotcha. I'm guessing after all the names that Joshua named off, I'm sure I've seen it. It's just not ringing a bell for some reason. Also, Mike McCorder bought a lot of ABBA records. Well, that explains a lot, sir. All right, so let's go ahead and. Maybe not.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what happened. We're back. So Joshua.
Yes, sir.
We got to start this off right, my friend.
Okay.
What is your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart? And don't you dare tell me you don't like Pop-Tarts.
I don't eat Pop-Tarts.
There you go.
I do like Pop-Tarts.
Now, you could tell us why or you could not. That's
well,
all right.
I'm diabetic, so
Okay.
I try to stay away from those types of things.
Well, that's fair. So if
put me
you
into a
see
coma.
Joshua, right, if you see Joshua out and you want to give him a big hug and you can't, don't give him a Pop-Tart either.
Pop-Tarts, yeah. Plus, it's not wise to like feed the musicians anyway.
He likes the
They'll
strudel.
never leave. But yeah, I like the fruity flavored ones.
Yeah,
The strawberries.
that's how I am. I think I've kind of made
iced. But
Oh
I've
yeah,
never had it with butter, and I just
dude, I don't have the nerve to try the butter thing.
no.
And I'm afraid that if I don't like it, I've just wasted a Pop-Tart. And
Right.
not that that's
And
some
butter.
big waste, but right, yeah, butter. Hello, Paula Dean. Okay. So
And
Josh,
what's your favorite flavor?
I'm exactly the same.
Okay.
The fruits, the cherry, the strawberry, blueberry, wild berry, that kind of stuff. I'm not really into any of the chocolatey, that kind of like just maple brown sugar. All that. Ugh, it's just too dry. They're already dry enough.
That's because you're not putting butter on them.
Oh, maybe. But they are iced, so there's that.
Yes,
Now, here's a question that
Okay.
we've not been asking. Do you heat them up
I do.
or eat them?
I do heat them up.
I'll do either one.
It softens them a bit.
I actually probably prefer them not heated up, which is really kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
Yeah. I know I just lost some street cred by admitting
You
that, but
did.
you know.
Now, do you do the traditional heating with the toaster? Or do you
Oh,
just
yeah.
microwave?
Oh
it?
no, no. I don't think is microwaving even an option?
It is.
The heck is wrong with y'all? Y'all.
Just warm it
Listen to
up.
me.
Well, you're from Chillicothe or whatever.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Says the guy from Arkansas. I actually read that. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Now I'm cutting out.
you're losing
Uh-oh.
it. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll just
okay.
okay. I'll
You're
calm
moving around
down.
that Pop-Tart
Yeah, I got me moving.
conversation.
So actually, I read that book at the time I was in high school.
Mhm.
What happened? I don't know.
Which book?
The Outsiders,
The
I guess.
Outsiders, Yep. Mhm.
All right. Lisa says this should be a good show. How dedicated that you were to Jared and Joshua. We're here in Vegas watching the big game, and yes, we bet on it, and we're still listening to the podcast. Well, awesome.
Yeah.
How much money did you put down, and for who? Curious minds must know. Oh, I just lost my spot. There we go. Jules says, I've always loved chocolate Pop-Tarts. I don't eat them very often. I'm like Josh Poole and diabetic also. Nice. Maybe a blueberry unfrosted with butter. Otherwise, no. Speaking of Ralph Macchio, the show Cobra Kai rules. Yeah,
I agree.
I've not seen it yet.
I agree.
Again, I just don't have time to sit at home and watch movies.
I watched it when it was on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
On the YouTube
Red,
Yep.
yeah.
And because they had like about 6 months after it came out, they released all of them for like a limited time. And so
Gotcha. Yeah.
I
But they're all on
and I
Netflix
was
now, though,
telling-
right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was telling everybody, man, I wish this was on a broader platform because it's a great show.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot. No, come on, microphone. I forgot that it started out on YouTube Red.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right.
And I don't think it would have ever gotten made if it hadn't been for How I Met Your Mother.
Really?
Yep.
I don't know. What's the correlation?
Well,
there?
okay, so Barney on How I Met Your Mother saw Billy Zabka's character as the actual Karate Kid.
Oh, okay.
And he laid out the whole idea, the whole plot idea of Cobra Kai. You know,
Gotcha.
Billy Zabka being the kid that was, you know, had his girlfriend stolen away from him, and he got blindsided by an old Chinese dude, and he was actually the one who was being bullied. And so they took a lot of notes from
Gotcha.
How I Met Your Mother,
Right.
and applied it to that.
I see. That makes sense.
And Billy Zabka was actually on How I Met Your Mother as
There you go.
Billy Zabka. So-
Nice.
So yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it.
Barb says heat them up, and Mindy says unheated.
And he
Yeah, I could go either way.
it's like eating cardboard if you don't heat them up.
It's like eating cardboard regardless. You
True,
know that as
but
soon as
less
you reach for it off
cardboard.
the shelf, you know, I'm going to eat some cardboard today or tomorrow or
Well,
sometime
okay,
soon.
it's like eating like drywall.
I like how you look
opposed
to the wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drywall as opposed to cardboard. You heat them up, it's more like cardboard. You don't heat them up, it's drywall.
Fair. Abigail says, I was reading the side of the box and I found in my pantry, some people freeze Pop-Tarts? What?
Freeze them.
Why? For longer shelf life? I mean, my God. Aren't
Don't
they
they
bio? They're not even hardly biodegradable, are they? Fruity ones are great, not heated, but the chocolatey ones need to be toasted for sure.
Well,
I can
maybe
see
that's your
that.
problem.
Yeah,
Maybe
well-
you just haven't warmed them up enough.
I mean, that's entirely
Do
possible.
they become like lava when
Lava. Julia says, I love so many Pop-Tart flavors. Push come to shove, my favorite is frosted cherry. Probably the same, which was a recent change from strawberry. I grew up loving them and also bought them all the time for my kids. Pretty sure I've tried all but maybe 2 flavors. Heat them, freeze them straight out of the pack. I've never heard this. Freeze them. Abigail, you've totally blown my mind today. Robert Crook says, where in Arkansas, Joshua?
Russellville.
Oh, Russellville.
Actually, just outside Russellville, London.
right next to Hooterville.
Right? No, right next to the nuclear power plant.
Yeah, that's no joke. There you go. Lisa says $100 for KC. Have to win by at least 3. Nice. Chet says The Outsiders was written by a woman that always wondered what it would be like to be one of the boys. Okay. I've watched Cobra Kai. It's a comeback since 80s time. It's pretty good. I just couldn't get into that kind of series. That's understandable. It's not for everybody, I'm sure. Speaking of crushes, my crush from the Karate Kid was Billy Zabka, not Machio. Was that the blonde guy? Yeah, of course. I mean, he's the heel. It's same.
Yeah,
same. Guess for freezing Pop-Tarts, they won't go stale or go bad. Yeah, that's what I thought. Longer shelf life. I'm gonna be that person, but pumpkin flavor ones are solid too. I've not yet tried it.
Never tried it.
I was trying to try it and I didn't try it. So yeah. Let's see here. Let's get back to the signature audio roast question. So
Right.
Joshua,
Yes, sir.
you were known for playing bass guitar.
Uh-huh.
Did you play any instruments in school?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about them.
I played baritone.
Baritone,
Yeah,
sax.
baritone. It's like a small tuba.
Oh,
Yeah. So I've always
Wow.
played bass.
wow.
Yeah.
So that's also in bass class
Yeah.
and stuff too, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yep. And I
Can you
played-
still read sheet music?
Yeah. Yeah. It takes me a minute.
Not me.
Well, I was a music.
Every good boy. That's a D right
Yeah,
there. That is a D.
I was a
That's
music
me.
major in college, so you kind of have
Hey
to.
there, fancy pants.
So I've
Nice.
had the theory, I've had the sight reading, I've had all of that stuff.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. So if I handed you a piece of music and like, could you read along and play along, kind of thing?
it would take me a while.
I used to.
Yeah.
So for me, I played orchestra more so than in band. I did
Mhm.
band for half a semester in school, and I'll explain that why it was so short. But and I played viola, so I read alto clef, and I used to be able to and read kind of thing. Anymore, there's no way. There's
Right.
no way.
It would probably be easier for me to write music than just sit and read because of the patterns of the writing the chords and stuff like that, and
Right.
knowing what key it's in.
Yeah, that makes
That would be
sense.
easier, but treble clef, since I was a bass clef person,
Yeah.
treble clef, I have to go.
You have to do all the
Yeah.
all the translation
Yeah,
stuff.
so-
Let's see here. Oh shoot, I hit the wrong one. Julia, I said Julia and read Christy. There's so many comments like going pretty fast. Christy says, "Who do you think Edge will challenge for at WrestleMania?" Well,
Oh,
I will ask,
This is the wrong podcast to talk about that
no,
stuff.
it's not. You
He's
can
got
talk about
another
whatever you want.
podcast. You can talk about that stuff.
Yeah,
This is about
Recliner
us. This is about
wrestling
music.
review. I think it's gonna be Daniel Bryan. That's who I think, because that's who I thought was gonna win the Royal Rumble. So there's that. Brian says, if the girls want to know what it's like to hang with the boys, just one more. Okay. Al says, geez, I barely made it through Music Appreciation 101. Yeah, right. Yeah, I feel totally underqualified
well,
to do this show even all
Just
of a sudden.
a dirty little secret about any type of like art and music type of appreciation type classes. Those are so subjective. You can make up pretty much anything.
Right. Yeah. They're
Uh,
basically kind of the fluff off
Right.
classes. Yeah.
It really is
It's
because
like PE.
now like music
For-
history is different, but if it's like music appreciation, what makes this song great type of thing, you can come
Right.
up with anything, and they really
This
can't
is so
say it
nice. I
wrong.
don't have to get up to get a refill. It does sound like I'm peeing all over the place, but I'm not. So, is there any instruments that you don't play that you wish that you did?
Two, I'd like to learn to play drums, and I can kind of hold a beat, but I would like to have the coordination to play drums rather than just programming them when I'm recording.
Right.
And banjo.
Banjo. Nice. Oh well, I mean, isn't that the instrument of your home state?
Yes, it's a state instrument, and you have to sit in trees and freak out country city folk that come through the towns.
So in honor of Brian Betancourt, let's take a bet here. This is the stupidest thing ever, but whatever. We've got one of those itty bitty little trash cans sitting here next to us, and it's about I don't know, 6 feet away, I guess. Do you think I'm gonna make this on the first shot, left-handed hook shot for? I won't tell you all my secrets, but just a hook shot.
I'll say yeah.
Yeah, I used to play
can do it.
basketball.
You did it. You made it.
Okay, so Oh yeah, I like it. See, I went ahead and I got mine all open and ready.
Well, that's because you're using sugar,
Yeah.
and I can't have sugar. As I said before, I'm diabetic, and I don't like comas.
Right. I mean, we need some ratings here, Josh. We're going to be
Oh,
we're going to
new
be talking.
segment. Can we get
Yeah,
Josh's
right.
blood sugar
Yeah.
spike?
Well, let's see what numbers we
What's
can get
in my
higher.
blood?
Can we get more viewers or what is, it's like beat the clock. Jesus, that took a turn. All right, let's get back on track here.
The
Julia
Audio
says,
Roast podcast does not condone making blood sugar spikes for its co-hosts.
right. Julia says, I think Edge has to go for the WWE title, not the Universal. Of course, who's going to have the title? I'm sad that they're probably going to take it off of McIntyre before Mania. There's just no good story with Edge and McIntyre. Well, I don't know about that. I think that Edge and McIntyre would be fantastic. But yeah, I don't think really there's going to be a bad match with either whoever Edge is with or whoever Drew McIntyre is with. I think they're both going to be good matches. But yeah. So back to some
I
music
have
stuff.
nothing to contribute to that conversation.
That's totally fair. I could set this up, but I won't. I'm just going to totally pretend like I don't know the answer.
Okay.
Joshua, do you have any pre-show or post-show rituals?
I do.
Oh, do tell.
Pre-show rituals is make sure that my fly is up.
Make sure your fly is up.
Just make sure my fly is up.
You're talking your fly.
My zipper.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Is there any particular reason why?
No.
Okay, that's fair.
Yes, there is. There is a particular reason.
It almost
why.
sounds like you've been caught with your pants down. That's a great AC/DC
fly
song.
down. Yeah, I used to do a lot of community theater, and when I was a kid,
Okay.
from elementary to high school, and then got into music and started doing a different type of stagecraft.
Okay.
But one of the things that I did was a theater production of Kiss Me Kate, where, not going into the whole story, but my character was on stage in pink tights and under like some blue pantaloons.
Hey there, fancy pants.
Yes, I was very fancy pantsy that day. I know at least during one of them, during the whole time I was on stage in that outfit, my fly was down.
Oh wow.
And so pink tights under blue pants is
Big
they're probably
old
gonna
pink.
show up.
Well, maybe I should have flown that one. Yeah.
So as a result, my formative years, was caught with my zipper down. So it's formative. And
So that's one of the things that you check for before you play that first note.
Yep, especially since I wear pink underwear all the time.
Well, I'm not here to judge.
No, Mom, I don't. If you're still watching, I don't wear any underwear. Joking.
It was a joke. Oh, we can't do that anymore. That's been trademarked or something. So Julia says
We doth scoff. That's what we do. We're scoffing.
Julia says it would be good guy versus good guy, and Vince doesn't really do that. You bring up a really good point, actually. But actually, isn't McIntyre supposed to be a heel? Because wasn't Goldberg supposed to be the face coming in with his comeback? Anyway, we're getting into Recliner Wrestling podcast. Jules says, Jared, dude, I have WWE WrestleMania on my old school first PlayStation game. Well, that's awesome. Jules, did you know that I have another podcast and it's about wrestling? It's called Recliner Wrestling Review. And it airs every Wednesday on YouTube. So go and check that out. It's kind of like this, but
How many
not.
episodes do you have so far?
I think there. I think 5. I think we've got some in the bag for just in cases. Like this week, as a matter of fact, we were supposed to record this week and couldn't. My co-host that lives in St. Louis blew a head gasket in his truck, and so he's had to deal with all that. Selling his old truck. He actually, oddly enough, we've talked. Joshua and I have talked off air, and you guys, if you've seen the commercial that airs here on the show, he has a huge action figure collection of wrestlers and stuff and all kinds of different things. He sold a box full of Lego sets and got $1,600, and that was his down payment for the truck. So I was like, wow, all right, so your stuff is worth some stuff.
Yeah.
Man. So can't be too mad at him. Lisa says, are we talking about Joshua's pants again? Yeah, it never fails. It never fails. I like his zipper pants. Hey, I'm working during the wrestling show, and sorry for opening that gate. Not really. That's all right.
Well, it's on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
so-
you can watch it anytime.
Yeah, so Christy, we went live one time, just last week or 2 weeks ago, and doing predictions for the Royal Rumble, just for something different. But it's all pre-recorded and uploaded every Wednesday on YouTube, so you could watch it whenever you want to. Sorry, I'll stop talking wrestling. You got wrestling and music. You got music and wrestling. Absolutely. Deb says Jared zipper pants. I don't know if Joshua's had any unless Jared made them. Oh, I know what pants you're talking about. Yes, I like those pants too. I don't fit them anymore. So back to the what we're doing here. Joshua, I know that you've been in cover bands and original bands.
Right.
And without having to ask, I feel like you enjoy both. You get different
Yes.
sorts of enjoyment from both, kind of the same as me. But if you had to be in a tribute band and pay tribute to only one artist or band, what tribute band would you be in?
You know, I've never really had a desire to do tribute music.
Because it's not wide enough of a catalog, or what's kind of the reason?
You know, I like bands, but I don't like bands intensely enough to dedicate a whole
night's
persona
work to it,
that.
right? Yeah.
The only group that would come close would be Petra.
Oh, I
I'd
thought you were
love
going to
do-
say Johnny Q. Public.
Yeah,
Or the Statler Brothers.
I actually a couple weeks ago learned Body Bee. on
Oh, yeah?
basis.
Nice.
You know what?
You gotta be
Yeah,
adding that to Identity Crisis set list.
maybe. You know what? I have been fooling around with the idea of saying, "Hey guys, why don't we do a set of local artists like
That would be cool.
a King's X song, Johnny Q Public song, some other groups that have kind of made their name here.
Right.
It would be just kind
No,
of
that's really cool. That kind of oddly reminded me of. So in my band Death May Die, we have a song called Lawrence of Arabia,
Mhm.
and it's one of our it's one of our earlier songs, if you will. And another band that we used to play with all the time, Snake Fighter, Austin Sanders, who passed away last January, when he was sound checking, because we would do like one show where we would play and then they would play, and then the next one they would play, and then we, just back and forth on who's on the top of the bill kind of thing. So when it was us opening for them, they would sound check to our song, and I was like, "You son of a!" So yeah, that's what that reminded me of.
What about you?
So obviously I've been in Guns N' Roses tribute bands. I've done King Diamond tribute bands. There's probably, there goes my microphone being weird again. Let me see if I can, there we go. So there's 3 that I've always wanted to do that I've never got to do. That before my music career is over, whatever you want to call it, that I would like to do, just kidding. I would like to do Judas Priest. I would like to do an Ozzy, probably solo tribute, and I would like to do a Foreigner tribute.
Yeah.
So that's which
Foreigner takes guts.
well, and that's the
guys.
thing. Like that all of those are hard for different reasons. I don't know. There we go. Right. All those are hard for different reasons. Foreigner, those clean vocals and stuff. That's not this. Golly, man. I don't like how this has been fine this whole time. Can you hear me now?
Probably
Hello?
not.
Hello.
No.
Hello. All right. Let me. Hang on. Where's my thingy? I don't know where my thingy is, folks. Somewhere. I'm sitting on it. That's what's going on. I'm sitting on it. All right. So we'll do this. Okay, so that's better. Foreigner is hard because it's those clean power vocals, and I'm not known as a clean singer. I hate being called a screamer because I don't do that. Rah! But it's what it is. Priest would be a lot of fun. It's more up my alley. And Ozzy sings in that weird spot.
King Diamond, when he hits that high stuff, it's very clear.
Oh yeah, it's crystal clear.
Yeah, it's very operatic, and so I wouldn't say that.
True.
If you're doing King Diamond stuff, I mean, he does
But
the
that's
gritty
all-
stuff at the bottom, but still,
Yeah,
when he's
but
really
it's very
singing,
falsetto. It's
yeah,
very thin in some ways compared to Foreigner, where
Yeah.
Foreigner to me
a lot of chest
sounds
voice.
a lot more full. Yeah, but I'm all for, obviously, since I did King Diamond, I'm all for challenging myself to kind of grow as a singer and as an artist. So it's one of those things I would be open, but it seems like it takes even more work putting a tribute band together than a cover band or an original, because an original band is probably the easiest, I would imagine, because everybody gets to put in input. A cover band, it's well, I want to do this song. Well, I want to do that song, and a little less input because of that. And you have to, in a tribute band, find people who are just as dedicated to that artist
Right.
as you are, and that's what makes it trickier, I think.
Or someone who's willing to receive the pay to do that.
Right? Yeah. True. Let me get over here to these comments again here. Joshua says, I'm sorry. Julia says, Joshua, please let me sing High Harmony on the Body Bee chorus.
You know,
Nice.
I've thought about recording that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just going to my
Just for the heck
studio.
of it?
Dude, yes.
Nice. Let's see here. Joshua, what was the name of your first band?
I would say first official band that actually played somewhere was Battle Cry.
Battle Cry.
Battle Cry. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
My first
High school.
my first actual little kind of project was me and my best friend Johnny from high school,
Mhm.
and a friend of ours named Dean that we used to work with, and it was just a little 3-piece. I was playing drums and singing, and so guitar, and actually 2 guitars, no bass. It was really weird. But the first song that we ever did together was Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Mhm.
And we never played out, so I won't call that one a band.
Yeah.
But my first actual going out and playing a show was the Last Minute Band, and the whole story
Heard the
is
story about
the
this.
whole story is we were the last to show up. They needed our name to put on that little marquee thing, and we're like, name, like that's the last thing we were worried about. We were making sure we were all here, and so our guitar player, who was an older guy, was like, "Oh, we're the Last Minute Band." So that's what we were. I think I played like 2 shows with them, and that was it. So my Brian says, I can hear you fine. I also bought Double Vision at the Kmart's. Nice. See, that's what happens when you get that blue light special. You can get
That's
all
right.
kinds of stuff. All right, moving right along. Joshua, what would you be if you followed your childhood dream?
Well, a musician, of course, but other
Yeah.
than
So
are
you
talking about-
really did always want to
Oh,
be a
yeah.
musician.
wanted to be since the time I got a guitar when I was 16. Yeah. That's what
Wow,
I wanted to do.
that's really cool. Not me. I didn't know it was even doable. I just thought it was like a
Well, I come
don't know.
from family of musicians, so
Right.
you know, I'd seen that. I knew that was an option.
when you say so did I, but by the time I was born, like my dad didn't play out, or if he was playing out, I would go to my grandparents, and my grandparents would watch me while dad played out. So I never actually got to see my dad play out even. So
Right.
wasn't until high school that he like did private parties and stuff and started getting back into music and stuff. But so, and that's why like on my episode of the Unsung Dreamers I was talking about, it's not tangible to me because it's not in real life. It's you know, like on this CD cover, or it's, you know, on the music video.
Mhm.
So even though I grew up with musicians, I didn't actually grow up around what we know as music. I grew up around a practice room, basically.
Right.
So I'm assuming it wasn't the case for you. Like, did you go to shows and
No,
stuff?
I didn't.
Oh, really?
All my family lived up here in Springfield, but I knew that my uncles were playing a lot.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But also,
But did you like get together on holidays and strum and sing and that kind of stuff, or?
not really. No,
No?
that was kind of, you know, that was outside of family get-togethers. It was, but just knowing that my family did that, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Christy says another fun fact, and I always tend to forget to tell you, Josh, but seeing you 6 years ago with Paralandra at Buffalo Run got me loving bass.
Oh,
Wow.
well, I'm glad that I got you loving bass. It's a instrument that needs love.
It does,
It really does.
especially on the bottom end of things. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Uh,
everybody noticed. No one notices the bass when it's there, but they notice it when it's not.
Right. Mike says, I want to see an Accept tribute band, brand new
Ooh.
CD jams. Yes, their new album is very awesome. Mike, I'm not in an Accept tribute band, but I am in a new metal cover band that hopefully we'll be playing within the next, hopefully sometime this spring, this summer. And we're doing an Accept song. We're doing Fast as a Shark. We might do more, but yeah, good stuff, man. I'm an Accept fan for sure. No, you had it right. It's bass. We meant what you knew, unless you were fishing for bass.
I was
Did you go fishing with Paralandra?
not at the casino.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So let's see here. I'll ask. What's
has Chrissy been following Paralandra that long?
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm gonna stand up and go close that door because that's already
Yeah.
that's killing me.
Yeah. Yeah.
40,000 Americans lost their lives in this pandemic.
What's going on out there?
Oh, they're well, I don't want to say because then people will go and watch, but
Oh, well,
some pregame stuff.
okay. I can see you do.
Smooches, peace out. See, told you they'll
See
drop
ya.
like flies.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Al.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to be doing this for too much longer, I don't think. Anyway, we're wanting to do just a little short, let you know we're still alive and kicking, and yeah, just kind of do some fun stuff. So, Joshua, I've got a new question that I started a couple weeks ago, and I would love to know this about you. But describe yourself in 3 musicians.
And 3 musicians. I would say, well, let's go with a singer would be Elton John because of I loved the melody in his stuff and the depth of his songs. Bass player would be Bill Dickens. And guitarist, I would say Phil Keaggy.
Who?
Phil Keaggy.
Who's that?
Phil Keaggy, you don't know? He is an incredible acoustic guitarist.
Oh, there's why I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you need to
I am
check
a
his
bit of a
stuff out.
metalhead.
Yeah, you'll need to check out his stuff. He's
Oh,
no, it's pretty amazing stuff.
is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like what style does he play?
Well, he's actually played a lot of. He's a Christian, done mostly Christian stuff, but highly respected. And he's got a lot of instrumental stuff, and it varies from rock. He did an album that was very influenced by the Beatles and sounds like a Beatlesque album. And then he's got like this really intricate finger style,
Kind of like a Spanish guitar type.
well, yeah, not so much Spanish, but just intricate finger style stuff.
Gotcha.
Where he'll do like, yeah,
I'm a singer. I don't
Yeah.
play guitar.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say and none of them is rock, but those. If I could play an acoustic guitar, I'd play like Phil Keaggy.
Okay.
If I
there you
could
go.
write and sing songs,
That makes sense.
it would be like Elton John. If
Right.
I could play bass, it'd like be.
I see what
Bill
you did there.
Dickens.
Yeah, that's cool. I can totally appreciate that, where you're taking it from all aspects of
right,
musically what makes you up.
right.
Yeah,
right.
not just one facet. That's good. What was
you?
Oh man. Okay. Well, that's kind of easy for me to rattle off. So Axl Rose,
Mhm.
be all and all to me. Happy birthday this week to Axl, by the way. So Axl Rose, I would say probably. That would be a toss-up, honestly, between Rob Halford and King Diamond. But I would say probably Rob, just for
Right.
those power vocals that are just very out front and like
And his vocals
from the
are a little
guts
more
and-
accessible to people.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
think King Diamond is a bit of an acquired taste for some
a
people.
lot of people it's an instant turnoff to hear
Yeah.
all the time. But I like the dynamics of all that, being from a theater background, also like and there's just a lot more that goes into it. But I would say for me, what makes me up as a singer, because I for whatever reason don't think all facets of what makes me up. I think of what singers have made the biggest impression,
Right.
with the exception of my third, and that's because overall I don't just stand there and sing. I like to perform.
Right.
So my third that I would put on Axl and Judas Priest or Rob Halford would be Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I grew up a massive Michael Jackson fan, watching like HBO specials and stuff or concerts whenever they would be on TV, and it was just mesmerizing. And it's just so weird to see those concerts in the early 90s and stuff where you see people like just passed out and they're like surfing passed out people across the crowd, just because it was like Beatlemania all over for my generation.
Well, I was a kid when he did the first moonwalk on that Motown, 5th anniversary special.
Yep, 25th anniversary. Yep.
I remember going to school the next day and all the kids
That's all they were talking about.
Yeah, it's like, did you see what he did?
Right.
He was gliding backwards. How'd he do that?
Yeah. It's crazy.
And yeah, I mean, he changed things.
Yeah.
He was pretty big at that point,
Oh yeah.
but then it's basically going viral
It's
before
exactly-
going viral
yeah,
happened.
no, that's
It's
like
like, it
that's
was one of those
great way to
things
put that.
like you remember when that happened if you were
Yeah,
alive. It was
for
like
sure.
the Kennedy assassination
Except
less-
cool.
with less blood.
Yeah, less violence. Yeah. So and to just the way that he felt and emoted the music, you know, with the every little thing, every beat, every sound, he physically emoted, you know, by his moves and whatnot, if you will. I don't know how I'm trying to say that. Let's see here. Mike says, thanks for choosing Fast as a Shark instead of the Balls to the Wall. Great tune, but obvious choice. So cool pick. Yeah, my old band Sunset Strip and my old band Rat Poison both used to do Balls to the Wall. So same. I'm over it. Next. Fast as a Shark is a great song. Brian says, love Off the Wall. Yeah, really good album for sure. So Joshua, one more question here for you. What was your first concert and who did you go with?
I went with my brother.
Okay.
And I went to see Survivor on their Vital Signs tour.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
84-ish?
Yeah, 84, 85. Yeah.
Very cool.
I was 11, something like that.
Very nice.
Yeah. And you?
Well, it's kind of a hard question because I remember going to a concert, but I was way too young. I was probably like 3 or 4. So I don't remember the concert. So it was Reba McEntire. All I remember is she had a blue sparkly dress, and I can kind of remember the stage set. That's all I remember. So the first one that I actually remember going to was another country concert, was Clint Black with Wynonna Judd.
Okay.
So yeah, again, I grew up a country boy. So yeah, it wasn't until God, when was my first rock show? Probably 2001.
Really?
Yeah, that far in life, and that was in St. Louis, the Summer
I had been
Sanitarium
in
tour.
rock bands by that time.
What's that?
I said I'd been in rock. I'd been in rock
Now it's
bands.
you.
Now it's me.
Ah,
I had check 1, 2. Can you hear me? Oh my gosh.
feel free to support the show by
That's right.
Patreon or something,
Yeah,
so we can
let's
get some
make
equipment. That's
Yeah, I had said I'd been in rock bands at that time. So
gotcha.
I've been
Gotcha.
in several rock bands by that time.
When I was a
What
boy,
I'm saying is I'm old.
we had to
people.
load in through 6 miles of snow.
That's
going
right.
uphill.
Oh, dude. If you've never played in the lake, that's no lie.
Oh yeah, no, like we just last summer was the introduction to me at the paddle wheel, and that alone is I'm like, oh god, this is the heck of a load in. Yeah, down in Branson.
Check 1, 2.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Try wiggling some of this around.
Let's try that.
I don't know.
Hello.
I can kind of hear, but not
Can you
really.
hear that? No.
Oh, there we go. Nope. Yep.
Check 1. So I played it. Lake of the Ozarks.
Okay, hold tight. I've got a solution here. I'd say you keep talking, but here I'll give you this.
Maybe.
We'll do this the old-fashioned way.
Okay. So Lake of the Ozarks is the worst load in. Have you ever played at Lake of the Ozarks?
No.
Oh my gosh. Paddle wheel is a dream compared to Lake of the Ozarks. Because all the places there have to want to be right down by the lake. And so they go down by the what is that? The banks. So you have these really steep inclines and you're having to lug your stuff down there. All right. Who do you want?
Try that.
Check 1, 2. There I am.
We'll just do this.
Yeah. I need to get some desk mic stands or something.
Yeah. We'll just play by ear.
We'll figure it out.
We're going on the fly. All right. So, has anybody else got any questions? Let's see here. I want to keep you guys involved.
Yeah.
Christy says, have you ever thought of having non-musicians on your show? Would love to see you talk to someone of the constant supporters who have a huge list of memories and shows they attend. Abso-freaking-lutely.
And you've had non.
Whoa, that's hot to me.
Wow. Oh my god.
Is that hot
sorry.
in your ears too?
No, it's fine in my ears.
Oh my god, that's like blasting in mine.
Well, sorry.
That's okay.
We've had
Oh, there we go.
non-musicians. You've had some photographers. You had
Yes.
Music Man Photography on.
Yep, Marty Jones and
Yep.
Brenda Fulbright. We've had Amy Oberbeck from
Yeah.
Just One More. Yeah, there's a lot, and I want
We had
to
Shane Jennings. He's not a musician.
word to your mother. So I'm gonna put this back
Love
on
you, Shane.
as long as it's working. So
So yeah, drummers. We've had drummers, non-musicians.
I want to get some more venue owners. Oh, Tom Hembry. We've had Tom
We've
Hembry.
had Tom. Hembry.
but I want to get some venue owners in here. In fact, I've got a show slated for, I'll go ahead and give this away in April when we kind of get to that 1 year anniversary of when we first got into lockdown and stuff. And I want to catch up with some venue owners and see how they've had to navigate all this, and see, you know, kind of check in on them, take their pulse of how's your business, what can people do, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what's in the works. Mike says, my worst concert experience was going to see Iron Maiden in St. Louis with Guns N' Roses opening. Guns canceled, and a band I couldn't stand called Hurricane opened up. Wow. I was so bummed. Singer went to front foreigner, as many of you, as you may know. Yeah, we were just talking about Kelly Hansen.
Yeah, we were talking about that
and
yesterday.
we were talking about how I'd never really spent any time with Hurricane. I've never really taken the time to listen to him, and I don't know why. But now you're making me trepidatious to even try. So what about Hurricane? Did you not like, Mike? That's kind of interesting. Brian and Lisa have been on the show.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
I think Lisa was here on the Christmas special.
That's right. Kim Garmery also, and she neither one of those play instruments. But yeah,
And
all kinds of music.
You have that commercial for like suggestions for guests, or if you want to be a guest. So
that's right.
if you want to be a guest, just
Speaking of which,
email the
maybe
Audio
that's
Roast.
sorry. Go ahead.
Just email the Audio Roast podcast. Gmail, right?
gmail.com. Speaking of which, why don't we dip out and do a little commercial break and see if we can get some microphone stuff figured out real quick.
Sounds good.
All right. Let me
Classic rock coffee. It's coffee that rocks, yeah. This ain't your typical coffee shop. It's Java with attitude, baby. From the moment you step onto the stage, you'll see, hear and taste the difference. We're rocking and roasting 7 days a week with guitars, amps, lights, burning wrists and groupies. We've got the best coffee, frappes, smoothies, protein shakes, pastries and sandwiches. Oh yeah, green M&Ms if you get backstage. Come on in and get a whole lot of love. Get the idea, my babies? Even if you don't love classic rock. Well, that's impossible. You're gonna love classic rock coffee. Check us out. Located at Kansas Expressway and Sunset.
All right, so we are back here. I've got a little microphone set up for Joshua when he gets back from his pee and a puff. And like I said, we're not going to be on here for too much longer. Everybody's wanting to go and watch the game, ourselves included, if for nothing else, the commercials. I think we've got all of our kind of generic Audio Roast podcast signature questions out of the way. So keep them coming in. We're enjoying chatting with you guys. This is something kind of really different for what we do, as far as no structure. We're just flying by the seat of our pants. So this is kind of fun for us. It's different. Mike says, well, just thought they were a C League band. I would agree with that. And with average songs. The funny thing is, on the way up there, we talked about how boring their music was, but you also have to consider being as excited as I was to see Guns N' Roses live. Just about anyone else opening would have been a disappointment. The crowd hated Hurricane, who's just happened to have brothers of Carlos Cavazo and Rudy Sarzo in the band. I did not know that. I didn't. So again, not only musically, but I just never really dove into anything really about Hurricane. So that's kind of interesting. Interesting to know, Mr. Mike. I've been to my fair share, if I'm being honest, of concerts where the openers, it's like I'm just getting through it and hurry up and get off the stage so I can see who I paid to be here for. And there's been plenty of concerts that I've been to that I was like, wow, I didn't expect the opener to be this good. As an example, when I went and saw King Diamond last time, the second time in Chicago last year or 2 years ago, there was a band called Dorothy that opened for him, and they were fantastic. I really enjoyed them. So yeah, good stuff. Mike says, if you dive in Hurricane, the pool is very shallow. Nice. Well played. So I'm trying to think here. What are some more questions that we can ask Josh? Let's put Joshua on the spot since he's not here, and he'll be back in a minute. But let's try to put Joshua on the spot. In the meantime, we talked for a second on that break, and we've got some other questions, but I don't know if I want to give them all away. So we might just give you a little taste of what we have in mind. We might actually have a full podcast based on some of these questions. So I don't want to give too much away, but we'll get into some of these because I think this is just a fun little way to keep some conversation open with you guys. So this is fun. Favorite Petra album? Yeah, I'll be honest, man. I did not grow up, and I still don't listen to Christian music. So that's totally out of my wheelhouse. It's just not what I grew up with or know at all. So my favorite Petra album is the last one. Sorry,
Which Petra album are you talking about? The last
I couldn't
one?
figure out where you set your microphone, so I got the stand up here for you. But
Okay, hopefully that won't fall off.
hopefully not.
I'm gonna get my ears in.
Okay.
Okay,
well, hold tight. I'm going to mute you so that they don't have to hear all this moving around of the whatchamacallit.
Okay.
So you're pretending to be the red.
Right.
Let me. Are you good?
Yeah, that'll work.
All
Yeah.
right.
Not too loud, am I?
Nah, you're good.
Okay, so Petra is kind of like Van Halen. They've had two very distinct lead singers, and people kind of rally around who they got introduced to Petra by. So either Greg Voles or John Schlitt, who used to be the lead singer of Head East.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Save My Life, Going Down for the Last Time.
Oh, yeah.
Love, yeah.
Take my life, I'm going down for the last time.
He became the lead singer of Petra.
No kidding.
Yeah.
It's a small world
It is.
after all.
I would say I gravitate towards the Greg stuff because I like him better as a lead singer, but the John Schlitt stuff was more rock, hard rock. More,
Gotcha.
It veered a little closer to more metalish sounding, a little more edgier.
Okay.
But since I know Greg and since I know the family, that his stuff, and I've also got to play with Greg, so that means an awful lot to me.
Yeah.
But my favorite probably would be the More Power to You album.
Why?
And why? Because I just think it has some great songs on it. I think it's I like the songs better on it.
That's fair. Mike says, great Christian rock band to check out was Guardian. They
Yep.
could jam.
Yep, I had a couple of their albums. Mm-hmm.
I bet you didn't borrow those, did you?
No, I didn't borrow those. I bought those.
There you go. Yeah, it's got to be some kind of
Jamie
bad.
Rowe.
It's got to be some bad juju to steal a Christian album.
Yeah, well,
Oh man.
yeah, Guardian. I've never seen them live, but they definitely were a great album.
Brian
Great
says
group.
Servant was my first Christian rock band that I liked.
Yep, they were good too.
Nice.
I saw the
Cool
Drum on
names.
Key several times. I saw DC Talk.
Oh
when
yeah.
they first
I
came
remember.
out.
So the only two that I'm even remotely familiar with, and I couldn't name a single song or hear it and be like, "Oh, that's who this is." Is DC Talk and
Yep.
Jars of Clay. Just because when I was in school, that's all the kids were talking about. They
Right.
were into that kind of music. So.
Yep, saw Jars of Clay as well.
Oh yeah.
I knew them kind of, sort of, through a friend, so hung out with them some.
Nice.
And DC Talk, they produced. They had a record label called Goatee, who dance band Johnny Q Public was
Oh,
on.
okay.
So,
Nice.
and Oren played on the Jesus Freak album.
Okay, now that I think I have heard, yeah,
Mhm.
Oren. That for those of you,
He actually played
Machine
on
Gun.
Jesus Freak, the title track.
oh, okay,
That's Oren
Wow.
playing guitar.
I'll be darned. I almost said I'll be damned, but it felt weird to say in that sentence. Julie says my favorite album too. Greg singing on "All Over Me" and the fact that the song has 3 key changes. Wow.
And that was actually supposed to be on the album before that, Watch Is Wider Than. But at the time, they decided not to put it on that album because at that time, Don't Fear the Reaper had come out, and there was a lot of backlash on like
Oh yeah,
suicide.
right. Yep.
No, I'm sorry. It was Killing My Old Man was the one that they didn't put on there, but
Oh,
yeah. So yeah, sorry, got the songs mixed up, but that was a good song too. All Over Me.
pardon me. I'm just peeing into my coffee cup. It sounds really bad on my mic, on my headphones. I don't know if y'all can hear that at home, but why am I saying y'all?
So
You
would
guys.
you guys like a audio roast podcast of Christian music? Because we've been talking, and
We have.
we would like to get me and Dan to
Yeah, I
be
think
on
that's.
that.
I think
Yeah.
yeah. I would actually
maybe
like.
in Paul too.
And that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
We need 3 because here's what I suggest. Wow, I missed that one. So I actually, when Joshua and I were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, I was like, this is no different from you. If I was like, hey, we should do a wrestling show, Joshua, you and I, and you'd be like, I have nothing to contribute. This is me with Christian
Right.
music because it's just not what I listened to or grew up with. So I think it would be a fun little twist to switch spots with you.
Right.
You be the host of that episode. I'll be the producer, and I'll give the reins to you on that. And because I know there's a lot of people that are into it, and
Right.
and that's the thing. And it's just like what we did with the rap episode last week. There's things that are going to be for some people and not for others. But it's all music, and it all deserves to be talked about and
Right.
appreciated. So that's what we're going to keep doing. Yeah. Let's see here. By the way, I just made a big mess. That's all right. Anyway, Chrissy says, I'm so down for that kind of episode, and also the bands who are Christian influence like POD and Creed.
Right.
Now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. There will be a new metal episode coming up within the
POD
next.
had like a couple albums before they were like
Yeah,
widely released that were strictly released on Christian labels.
correct. I'm not familiar of them as far as those albums. I know of the fact that they had
Right.
Christian albums before they went mainstream, if you will. So yeah, I would agree. And that's kind of why I want to do a Christian episode, because it did create a lot of spin-off, especially like what Christy's saying in the early 2000s.
And there are other like secular groups like Mr. Mister who were a Christian band,
oh, okay,
but were technically Christians that were in a band that
right,
and King's X
Uh-huh.
were in their early days. They all went to Evangel College, is where they met, and
right.
So yeah, I mean Christian influence in secular music and stuff like that. Lead singer of Foreigner, Lou Graham's a Christian.
Yeah.
And the song "I Want to Know What Love Is" about his conversion to Christianity.
Oh,
It's not about a chick; it's about his relationship with God.
interesting. Mike says, "What?" I'll let you read, Joshua. What does that say for Mike?
Mike says that would be a time to talk about King's X, an epic great King's X, the epic great King's X. Yes, sir, you are correct.
Let me take that down
He
right
would
quick.
he would not be able to read that; it would get caught in his throat.
Exactly. That's why I said, "Hey, read that." Okay, so I do want to. I'm even though we said we're not. Let's save the T questions
Yes,
for. Okay.
for another time.
Thank you for knowing what it meant. We'll save those, but we've got some other questions that Joshua and I wrote down kind of for each other. Some of these I might actually start incorporating in some of the interview things. So yeah, do you want to take one and I'll take one and we'll kind of go back and forth?
Are you talking about our deep dives
Mhm.
to each other?
Yeah.
Sure.
I feel
I
like
guess-
I need that Jeopardy
yeah.
music.
I guess what I'm wanting to know is about the Golden Girls.
Oh, what do you want to
Yeah.
know? I'll tell you
I
anything you
wa-
want to know.
well, I mean, I don't know how much our viewers know, but you are like obsessed with the Golden Girls.
Obsessed with the Golden Girls. Yeah.
And I'm one.
By the way, if you want to send me a T-shirt or any kind of little trinket, I probably already own it. So I love you,
Right.
but thank you. I already got it. More than
so-
likely.
when they came out in the early '80s, you must have been like
Well, I was born in '83, so
'83,
yeah. So I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
they came out in '85, I want to say.
2, 3, 4 years old.
Yeah. So obviously not them.
So you
So-
would have caught like on reruns, probably a
Yes.
few years later.
Yes, on Lifetime.
I wonder what would draw like a 5-year-old Jared Isaacs to watching
so
a group of 5 geriatric ladies
Four.
four geriatric ladies discussing their love life and living
right,
down in
yeah.
Florida.
How,
So
how does
do you
how does
relate
a
to
young
that?
how does a young man relate to some elderly older women from 35 years ago? Well, so here's the thing. So I didn't get to see them on their original airing. Obviously, I was too young. But I do remember, like I said earlier, so whenever my dad would go and play shows, I would go to my grandparents' house for the weekend and be babysat by my grandparents. So the Golden Girls, Hee Haw, there was all kinds of, those really good memories of, just like, that's the nostalgia for me as a kid, is watching some of those good shows.
Right.
And so to fast forward, it's the wholesomeness. I think the comedy that's timeless. There's little drops of nostalgia as far as the topics of what they're talking about, or some of the little comical jabs and stuff. But so the actual reason is, whenever I was, I'm going to guess probably 10, 12, something like that. I'm not a morning person. I do not like to get up. Once I'm up, I'm a morning person. It's no problem. It's the getting me out of bed. And I'm very hard to wake up, and have been my whole life. So when I was 7 years old, my parents divorced. I lived with my mom and my sister. And on Lifetime, I think it was at, I want to say either 9 or 11 o'clock at night, I can't remember, the Golden Girls would come on. Well, my bedtime, because I was so hard to get up, was 8:30, all the way until I was a freshman in high school and moved to my dad's house. But so my mom and sister would stay up to watch the Golden Girls, and I had to go to bed because I was harder than hell to wake up. So I missed out on that. So that was like, oh, I'm going to start watching whatever it is. Because I thought, well, maybe that's why I'm having to go to bed early, is because whatever the show is. So I started watching it, and I fell in love with it.
You thought it
Yeah,
was
I didn't know if it was racy or what, but yeah, I was like, oh, I'm going to get in these Golden Girls. And then I don't know. I really don't know. I just really connect with it. I like the humor. It's almost like I'm also a big fan of The Wizard of Oz. I know, shocker, right? But you know how, like, The Wizard of Oz, if somebody were, and maybe this is just me, but if somebody were to say, who's your favorite character on Wizard of Oz? Well, it's kind of hard to pick between the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow, because there's a little bit of each of those in everybody. To me, the Golden Girls are the same kind of way. It's just perfect writing in that sense. Like, every character is, you could describe each one, but there's probably a little bit of everybody in yourself, or in a friend of yours, or that kind of thing. So even though those characters are very black and white in who they are, and as it relates to real life, they're very gray.
Right.
So I don't know. That's just, I don't know.
Figuratively and literally.
Right. Yeah. Very true.
So were you into like all that type of genre, like Matlock and Murder, She Wrote and all that stuff? Or was it just,
yes and no. So not Matlock necessarily. That one kind of put me to sleep. And not necessarily Murder, She Wrote. That one was also kind of slow, but I love 60s television.
Right.
So Green Acres, and I mean, just there, I don't want to.
Green Acres was so cutting edge. I don't know if people really realize, but it was so meta.
Oh yeah.
And so out of the box. I mean,
Yeah.
there were fourth wall breaks and that stuff. It was really something that you didn't see. It's something that would stylistically go a lot better nowadays.
Yes. Yeah. Big time. Also, the same with I Love Lucy. I used to watch I Love Lucy all the time. Also groundbreaking. In many, many ways. I Dream of Jeannie, Bewitched. I mean, there's so many of those 60s shows that I grew up watching that I love. And if you watch like our episodes when we do the rating of the TV shows, a lot of them tend to be from the 60s.
Yeah.
Because that's just kind of what I fell in love with. Let's see here. Christy says, Golden Girls is like a religion. I'm a disciple of theirs for sure.
What's Deborah Klein say up there? Right above Christie's?
Right there. She said, because the Golden Girls
No,
are freaking
above,
funny.
above,
Oh,
above.
That's the
above
only
Christie.
comment that I've got from
No,
Deborah.
there's one above that.
You mean this one?
I mean that one. She loves King's X.
Christy says the writing and the acting was phenomenal. They talked about legit issues that made it their own comedy. As a kid, this was the first show where you related to an adult. And that's really the thing is, I mean, that's exactly it. First and foremost, the writing and stuff, the topics that they chose to cover were very groundbreaking in their own ways.
Yeah.
Mike says, well, then there's Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
He's still, by the way, Mike, God love you. He's very bitter that Little House on the Prairie got voted
you
off
know
so
what?
early.
I loved Little House on Prairie. They dealt with some really
They really did.
the
That's
stuff
another,
where
yeah.
the one where and it always seems like the real heavy stuff revolved around Albert,
Yeah.
his girlfriend getting raped and him
Right.
getting addicted to morphine.
Yeah. It went to some
That
pretty dark
Albert had
places.
a rough life. That's what happens when you adopt a child on the prairie.
Right.
It's-
Yeah. Let's see here. Brian says, love The Wizard of Oz. There you go. There's another one. Carol Burnett was funny too.
Very
Yeah.
good,
Carol
yeah.
Burnett show was great.
Bob Mackey did all the costume designs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man, there's so many good, I need to get off this tangent, but there's so
Yeah.
many good shows from that era.
Yeah,
It really was. All right. So I don't have for my questions to you, Josh. Mine
Yeah.
are kind of more open-ended because some of these I want to kind of test out on you to
Right.
see if these would be good questions for
So I'm the
upcoming
guinea
guests.
pig, huh?
You're the guinea
Oh,
pig.
the guinea pig. Okay.
So Joshua, who are 3 people that have been the most influential on you?
3 people. Well, can I say my parents as one?
Of course. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
my parents,
Okay.
because they created the foundation of who I am.
Right.
If there's really anything good in me, it came from the morals and from the
The upbringing.
upbringing that I had. I'm
Right.
I don't want to say my life was idyllic, but that's probably the closest word. I mean, I had parents that loved each other, that had been married for almost 50 years.
Are your parents
now.
still together?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I almost said, are they still together? Are they still alive? Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
come
still
on.
alive.
I
Well,
asked
you've been
that out
talking
of
to my
order.
mom,
Yeah.
so
Oh no!
you're not having a seance on Facebook.
What are you doing to me over here? We're live.
Yes, my mom and my dad are both alive, and they're both married to each other. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
and they're just genuinely great people.
Yeah.
So
I think
if you think
I
I'm
we
a
might
good
be
guy,
getting to know
that's-
your mom some more here on the show. So
dude.
just saying,
Yeah.
we've got a new segment that we're cooking. that I'm
Yes,
cooking
guys,
up.
it's embarrassed Josh through his family.
Just
It's really
Josh.
what just Josh, yeah. But yeah, if you say that, hey, that Josh is a great guy, that a lot of that has to do because of my parents, my upbringing.
Right.
Another influence of my life would be probably Mike Schmitz. He's the guy who wrote songs for Greg Voltz's solo albums, and
Okay.
he was like the first guy that I was in a band with here in Springfield.
Oh, okay.
And he's an incredible songwriter and lyricist and musician, and being in bands with him was like an education in how to be a musician,
Gotcha. Yeah.
and set the bar really high with people that I've played with. So been real picky with the groups that I played with because I've been to the mountaintop
Right.
with that. And let's see, personal influences. Geez, that's a tough one.
It is,
I
huh?
mean,
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like we've not really. I don't know what all his questions are. He doesn't know hardly any of my
No,
questions.
3 people.
I'll be the first.
I've had a lot of people that influence, but I'm kind of on the spot, you know.
Well, you're on the spot, and I want to preface this. Preface as you're in 2 out of 3. It doesn't have to be like if you give me a name like John Doe that lived down the street,
Mhm.
that's an acceptable answer. Like
Right.
it doesn't have to be. You don't have to make it relatable. Like I want to know really what made Joshua Poole Joshua Poole.
Well, you know,
And it's hard also because we're constantly getting influenced by people,
right,
all the way
right.
from the time we're born to the time we die.
exactly, and just kind of prioritizing who's been let.
Yeah, this is
Because
almost like MySpace. Like, okay, give me your top 8 and let's
Right,
sit here and rearrange
exactly.
them. Yeah, I get that. I get that.
You know, and it just popped into my mind with my career outside of music.
Mhm.
I work with individuals with disabilities, and I can't remember the kid's name, but
Princess Diana, Mother Teresa.
no, the kid's name. There was a child when I was in middle school that was in a wheelchair, and he would need assistance going to the restroom between classes. So and I don't know why they chose me, but they asked me that between a certain period that I would take him with his wheelchair between the
Oh.
classes, take him to the restroom,
Right.
and assist him with restroom.
Mhm.
And so I would say that would be an influence because in 7th grade, I was assisting a kid with
Right. Yeah,
disabilities.
that's a responsibility that
Yeah.
a lot of 7th graders aren't doing.
And I work with individuals with disabilities
Did that kind
right
of
now.
spark like your interest in what you do now? Is that kind of what opened that door for you?
No, not necessarily. It wasn't because I did that I went into this field, but it primed me to be someone who wouldn't shy away from this.
Right. That's what I mean. Like that's kind of where I will say that it's kind of what gave you your bleeding heart, like open the door to show, hey, I can care for other people besides myself. A lot of kids in 7th grade, it's not that way. It's me.
Right. Well, you know, I think I'd always had that in me. I've always had that caring nature in me.
Gotcha.
But as a 7th grader, you know, providing personal care to an individual.
That's also in the 7th grade, I'm
Yes,
assuming.
yeah.
Yeah.
Was, made it easier for me to go into that field where I'm providing care
Right.
for on a daily basis with individuals with severe disabilities. So, since I had done it in the past, it wasn't tough for me to do in the future because I've worked with people who've worked a day or a week, and it's just like this ain't for me. You know?
Yeah, no, and I'm glad you said that too, because when you were talking about a wheelchair, like my dad's dad was in a wheelchair, and so again, whenever I would go over to their house for the weekends and stuff, I'll still remember my grandpa saying, "Hey, you're my little buddy. Thanks for helping," that kind of thing. But it's nowhere near like the daily responsibilities, and I sure wasn't helping my grandfather with restroom and all, like that was my grandma's deal. But like if he was in bed and needed to get in the wheelchair, adjusting, getting him into there, and little things like that, I helped with that. But yeah, that's a big undertaking to actually really give somebody full care like that.
Right.
So yeah. By the way, Mike, or I'm sorry, Marcia says, "You're back in the wheel, Josh."
What? I was out.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's a wheel I don't want to be out of.
Right. That one actually could have an impact. Deborah says, "Are you going to do a love song episode next week?" And yes, we are. We're actually going to be doing a Tournament of Champions. I reached out to a couple, and I'm waiting to see if they're gonna be on, because I would really. I need to take a step back. So I normally, when I book guests, I don't book people that are together, or I don't book people that are in the same band, because I'm trying to, like we explained, bring different circles together. But next week it's a little bit different. So I am going to try and get a couple on here, and I'm trying for a couple that we haven't had on as individuals. So I'm trying to hold out as long as I can before I start asking people to come back, because we still got a lot of people to get to. But yeah, that's what we're trying for. So yeah. Tournament of Champions,
and hopefully this couple will still be a couple after the Tournament of Champions.
Right? Yeah, there's that. And I'm also in talks with Amy Overbeck from Just One More for coming in and bartending for us for that, just to kind of make it more special. I don't know. I think she's also looking at doing some remodeling on her bar that weekend, so I'm not sure. So she's going to get back with me this week and decide if she's going to have time in her schedule to come up here and listen to our shenanigans. But yeah, we've got some fun stuff going for next weekend. Mike says, "Gotta run, guys. Thanks for letting me be annoying." No, you're not annoying at all, Mike. I absolutely love it.
Why you gotta run? What's going on?
Yeah, right. Yeah, something going on. I don't know. Okay, so Josh, I'll let you hit me up with another.
Okay,
we'll probably do another couple of these and then wrap it up.
Guilty pleasures. What is your guilty pleasure? Music, band, whatever.
Oh, musically.
Yeah.
That is a hard question, because not to be that guy, because I don't feel guilt for anything I listen to. I think here's the easiest way.
Or maybe not so much guilty pleasure, but what maybe surprised that someone would think he listens to that.
So I was listening to 90s dance music when I took a shower today. So I was listening to like Real McCoy and Cher, and all kinds of dance music. So I'm just going through my Pandora list here.
That's not surprising though.
No, yeah. So I've got 90s dance, 90s alternative, 80s country, Christmas, Ace of Base, yacht rock, soft rock, 90s R&B, 90s country. I'll skip some stuff and try to find some more shocking stuff. Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, Tanya Tucker, Reba, Missy Elliott, The Judds, Elton John, Sade, Howard Shore, who was the composer for Lord of the Rings and a lot of that kind of stuff. Britney Spears, Rod Stewart, Prince, King Diamond, Nelly, Dr. Hook, Journey. My musical taste is all over the place. So I think a lot of that comes from my background with my parents. Right. Mom was country and R&B. Dad was like old school rock and some 80s country as well. So I took a blend of that. And then when my mom remarried, that's whenever like 80s rock and stuff with my stepbrothers came into the play. So yeah.
As a musician, you've got to like everything pretty much.
You at least have to appreciate where things come from and why they're...
and everything. I mean, Paul and I, when we were doing the Paralandra stuff and we would play out of town, we would invariably ride together and we would listen to Captain and Tennille or, Ambrosia. It's just stuff you don't think like the hard rockers are going to go.
Right.
We're listening to all this stuff that you wouldn't think of. But that's melody is melody.
And that's it. Yeah.
That's one of
good
the things,
songwriting is good songwriting.
That's one of the things that I've missed in a lot of popular music today.
Yeah.
It's just, there's not melody.
Mhm.
You know, there's like 2 or 3
It's-
notes that they sing repetitively.
They don't write for melody; they write for hook,
They do,
and it's
Well,
and it's a little section of a hook.
but even hooks, like back in the 80s, they had melody to them.
Yeah.
There's a difference between what music has gotten down to is mostly just repetitive, so it's memorable,
Right.
and it's like the na 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 type of concept, the nanny nanny boo boo concept, where you have a simple melody, easy to remember, keeps it in your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yep. And it's not like Gershwin, you know, like what'll I do when you,
Right.
You know,
What'll I do? Yeah. Christy says, Lord of the Rings is amazing. You're becoming my unofficial best friend. Let's make it official. What the hell?
yeah.
Wrestling, Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings, Golden Girls,
Yeah.
music. I think you just hit every facet
Now,
of who I am.
Are you have you read the books too? The
Yeah.
Lord of the
Oh,
Rings
yeah.
books? Okay.
Yeah. I haven't read the Silmarillion. That's
Oh my gosh, I haven't
the
either.
making of, but I mean that's like nerdism to the nth
Yeah.
degree, and I'm like, I'm not quite there.
Right.
Yeah, I appreciate it. There's things about it that I know, but I'm like, I'm good right where I'm at.
You haven't learned to speak the Elvish language.
So are you ready for this?
I bet you know a little bit. About it.
Bella quilm haveth freonein frecken forth synded, yet should I sing gleome soriende on Madusilde. Yeah, I can sing in Elvish, mofo. I actually sometimes will sound check with that in Death May Die, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And every now and then somebody be like, oh my God, because they know exactly like what scene it's from, where, you know, all that. And a lot of times everybody's like, what the hell is this guy saying? But yeah, no, I can actually, yeah, I can.
Now, have you seen the Rankin Bass Lord of the Rings? Or
the
Return of the
animated?
King and the Hobbit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's kind of hard to watch. It's fun for a little bit,
Right.
but if you have you actually sat down and watched like the Lord of the Rings, the animated one
The one that was in movie theaters.
from the you're talking about
That is
the
hard
one
to
from
watch.
the 70s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Late 60s,
Yeah.
early 70s.
Yeah,
late
yeah,
70s.
yeah.
Yeah, that's very
The
acid
Hobbit
trippy.
of that is way easier to watch.
Well, that was
than-
Rankin Bass.
Okay, there you go.
And
Yeah,
the Rankin Bass also did a Return of the King one too,
yeah.
which was okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I actually just recently tried to rewatch the Lord of the Rings one. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that one's
oh, this is hard
really
to
is.
watch. Like really,
Really is.
it's fun to see, you know, like little gifs and stuff on Facebook or whatever.
Mhm.
But to sit and watch the movie, it's
Well,
very not
it's almost
palatable.
like the heavy metal movie. You know, it's got
Right.
that really
Yeah.
acid trippy.
Yeah, and it's like filters behind animation and stuff. Sometimes it's
Yeah.
really weird. But speaking of really weird, I also am a huge HR Puffin stuff fan. And so you were talking about guilty pleasures. I can
Yeah.
also sing every word to the intro to that. And it's like when intros to shows are like over a minute long. Yeah. So again, I have no guilt though. I just love it. It's good stuff to me. Christy says we're going to need a movie songs episode as well. It's coming up this summer, as a matter of fact. I've got it on the old schedule, which I should have brought over
Do
here.
you have guests for that yet,
I don't.
Christy? Because
Might
she
be
wants.
our gal.
Did you see her post about wanting to do it, having a cover band doing just movie songs?
That's right, which is a great idea, by
Yeah.
the way. And I would be all in for doing a Sweeney Todd. Just saying, it's like my favorite.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff.
Because he makes the worst pies in London.
Right, and I actually dressed up for Sweeney Todd one time when I
saw
worked at a salon, and we made costumes for everybody that worked there. And there was like 9 of us.
Did business go down?
No
when they
business
saw
went
you?
up. No, it was awesome. It was really
If I
cool.
walked into a salon and guy dressed up as Sweeney Todd, I would probably like.
Right. Well,
we're not
thankfully-
using the straight razor today.
Right. Yeah. Thankfully, well, first of all, thankfully, I'm not a barber, so no straight razor required. Secondly, we were all too busy anyway with regular clients, so we didn't have walk-ins that
Right.
day. So
Okay.
we did kind of play it safe and play it. We planned for it.
Okay.
But yeah, that would have been kind of intimidating for
Yeah.
somebody to walk and be like, I think I'm going to go to Great Clips. then."
I've seen this show. I know how it ends.
Oh man. Okay, so I think I think you're up for another one.
Okay, so speaking of hair design,
Okay.
when I've been scrolling through your Facebook pictures, I've noticed that you're kind of like Gary Oldman. You're a chameleon.
Very much. I've always been that way.
I was showing my wife some of the pictures. I said, "This is Jared. This is Jared," and it's like you look different from
Yeah.
like year to year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll look like a Backstreet Boy, and sometimes you'll look like King Diamond. And
Yeah.
so-
What's
what's up with that? I mean,
Well, I get bored. I
You
mean,
get
that's really the answer. So what's actually really funny about that, this is a funny side story. Like 10, 12 years ago, whenever back in the days when I was single and looking, and all the like online dating sites and stuff, people would think that I had fake pictures. They're like, oh, that's not you. That doesn't even look. I'm like, it's me. It's really me.
Mhm.
But so yeah, long hair, short hair, mustache, no mustache, goatee, beard, like it all changes. And it all has to do with just I get bored.
Okay.
I love having long hair, being a metalhead and being on stage and headbanging, but I hate it through Monday through Friday whenever I'm not doing anything. Like it drives me nuts. I look worse with long hair than I do short hair, but I don't care. Like that's how much I love being on stage, and I really miss that, and I'm looking forward to this year being able to get back on stage. But yeah, that's really what it's all about, is just changing, and like my clothing style changes, so that influences a lot of things. But yeah, overall, I'm just a jeans and a t-shirt kind of guy.
Yeah.
So long hair, don't care.
I just was like,
Yeah,
man,
but-
he's such a chameleon in his looks.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, really and truly.
Yeah.
I've done like really sharp, like edgy designs in my beard and facial hair and stuff, and that was a thing like in early 2010s. Just to be totally just something different, So yeah, I just get bored, man.
Yeah.
That's what the whole mustache thing started as. I actually had the exact same thing as you do, and the whole wraparound thing. And I cut the bottom off, and I was like, "Hey, do you like this?" And I got "Oh God, no, that's off." I'm like, "Yes, I'm keeping it." And like I've had it for over a year now, I think. And yeah, who knows? I might shave it off tomorrow. You never know. Let's see here. Not trying to overkill your comment section. You better keep it coming. I love it. But whoever tags you on the Jason David Frank pick from the Power Rangers was perfect.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Al Hutches.
Yep.
He's forever hard at work on the old Photoshop. But yeah, no, that was absolutely hysterical. Loved it.
yeah, you do look like him.
I do. I actually, I was kind of sad that I had to be the white Power Ranger instead of the black one, because I wasn't really into the Power Rangers. But I'm familiar enough to know that I thought the black one was a cool one. So, but black's my favorite color. So there's that. Man, I'm trying to think here. So let's, no, I want to save that. Let me see what I've got on the back of this. What we're doing, so I've asked you about name yourself and 3 musicians, 3 influences. I'm going to keep going on this 3 theme.
Okay.
If you could have dinner with any 3 people, alive or dead, who would they be?
Rich Mullins. He was a singer-songwriter, Christian singer-songwriter, but more than just your standard. There was a lot of depth to him.
Okay.
He was one who didn't fit into the Christian singer-songwriter box very well,
Right.
because he brought up some challenging issues, and he's dead. So
Right.
I'd like to sit down and just pick his brain.
Yeah.
See, who else would I like to have dinner with? I don't know, maybe some sort of philosopher. Maybe C.S. Lewis.
Okay. Yeah.
Would love to sit down with C.S. Lewis.
There you go.
And let's see, who else? Maybe Bill Burr.
Oh, okay. So a comedian.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
That sounds like an interesting night for dinner.
I don't know if I'd have them all together together, but I mean,
Gotcha.
maybe separately to
Right.
sit down. But
Yeah. There you
yeah,
go.
I think that would be
That's a fun combination.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let you.
And you, who would you like to sit down
Oh
with?
God. What's funny is I was writing these down and I was like, maybe I should think about what my answers is being. I was like, never. Don't worry about it. And now I'm like, crap. I should have
You should
thought
have,
about it. So for me, Axl Rose.
of course.
And then from there, it gets hard.
That would probably end up in a fight, though, wouldn't it? Then he end up fighting most of
No.
the people he's.
Y'all need to quit
Contact-
with. I try not to cuss on the show anymore, but y'all need to quit with this shit. So, Axl Rose used to be a dick, but he's not anymore. Y'all need to separate the two and realize that he's learned and he's matured and he's a different person. So, give him a fresh slate, for crying out loud.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's
Still
not
takes
fat
him 10
anymore.
years
either, so,
to make an album, though.
yeah. And now
Yeah.
I'll get on the shit wagon for that because come on, Axl, we need some more music. But yeah, so Axl Rose, I would. Oh man. I'm going to probably have to go on the sappy side. I would like to say probably my dad's dad, my grandpa, who passed away when I was like 10, 12 years old, just because I have a bad memory, so I don't remember a lot of things. So it would be nice to see him now him to see me now and the progression of things. So I would say that, and I would say, I'll play another one that's not famous, and it's just it's kind of on what I asked about influences to you. There was a friend of mine that lived in Ava. We worked together, and it was kind of a special friendship. He was like in his 60s. I was 18, and it was just kind of that mentorship. And so my friend John Yisley, who I actually found out last year, passed away a year prior to that, and I never knew. So I would say him. So yeah, because I'm sappy like that. I'm very sensitive.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. One more 3 question for you.
Okay.
If you won the lottery, what would be the first 3 things you did with the money?
Well, I don't play the lottery, so I don't think about
Same. I would never win because I don't play.
Yeah, I don't play.
If Christy Pressler won the lottery and she won $1 billion and gave us each 500 million, I don't know.
You know, I would probably.
Well, that's a bit much. That's the whole thing.
I
But
would
anyway,
probably build a studio that I could record in.
Okay.
And probably just throw the rest in the bank. And I would give quite a bit of it away. I would find charities to give away. Not that I don't like my job.
Mm-hmm.
I do like my job, but I would like to really just pursue my music and not feel that I have to.
He works hard for the money.
Yeah,
I get you.
Yeah, I would like to retire to leisure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just, maybe also actually start investing in bands and take a more productive production approach and at least trying to change maybe locally the concept of what music should be.
Right.
And invest in, there are so many good groups out there that will never get a chance because of where they're at, how they look, or
who they don't know.
Who they don't know.
Yeah.
And A&R people are so about, we're not going to risk anything unless we know it's going to.
It's even worse nowadays. You're absolutely
it's even
right.
worse. Yeah, because stuff has gone so digital and it's taken it out of their big studios' hands. So they're not going to bet on anything that's not going to be a sure thing.
Exactly.
And even if it's not so much that I'm getting them signed to a big label, but I'm just helping them grow as a band.
Right.
To, teach them to be good musicians on and off stage.
Yeah. Yep.
And investing, just give them a chance. That's probably what I would do with the money.
There you go.
What about you?
Well, first of all, I would buy a house. I would buy a car or a truck probably. And then the next thing I would do would be like my family. So like either pay my mom's house off or buy her new house. My nieces and nephews, I would, contribute to a college fund, that kind of thing. Just helping the people around me, close, that kind of thing. And then from there, I mean, like you said, charities, save it, etc. Trust me, I have no problem spending money.
Right. Well, I don't have a whole lot of. I'm not a car guy. I'm not a boat guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Same. When I say I'm
really
talking like I'd buy
like
a Chevy Silverado or and like call it good. Like it doesn't have to be a Lambo and that's not me.
Yeah. And I'm even though I'm a musician, I don't have to have all the best of everything.
Right.
My bass is like a $200 bass.
Right. Music equipment and stuff. I'm like exactly what you were asking about my style and my looks. I'm a chameleon. Like I like that new gear smell.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go and invest in like, oh, this is all I'll ever need. I would die inside. I'd be like, I need, some new motivation or some new something to keep those wheels spinning. If I had the same setup for the next 30 years, I'd be like, I'd rather not do anything.
Right. I mean, I'd like to get a Conklin bass, like a 6-string bass, just because.
Shout out to the Conklins.
Oh
by the
my
way.
gosh,
yeah.
They make such beautiful and such wonderful instruments.
Yeah,
I would drop a couple $1,000 on a nice bass.
Yeah,
just so I could have a Conklin.
Yeah,
but if it plays like crap, I would never buy it again.
Right.
If it doesn't sound any, So it's, but I'm sure it'd be great because they're amazing basses.
Yeah,
but if I could afford it, I'd buy one of those.
There you go. Now's the time to do it. Christy says,
But I'm back in the will, so
Right.
Mom, Dad, that's what your inheritance.
there you go.
My inheritance is spent on is the Conklin base.
Christy Pressler says, would love a dinner with Freddie Mercury, John Carpenter, and Sigourney Weaver.
Ooh,
Interesting.
those are some
Now Freddie
good-
Mercury, yes, 100% for sure. Like, yeah, that'd be great.
John
Carpenter, interesting.
yeah.
So you're into horror and all that, I'm assuming.
Have you seen
Sigourney
In the
Weaver
Mouth of
seems really
Madness?
random. What?
Sigourney Weaver was in like Aliens and stuff, so
Yeah,
she
but-
has that horror-ish background. That's sci-fi
Okay,
horror
maybe, okay.
background,
All right, I can
and she's a
understand that.
pretty good actress too.
Yeah.
Have you seen In the Mouth of Madness, Christy? Wasn't that a John Carpenter movie?
I'm not sure on that one. I don't know.
That's a really interesting
Lottery
movie.
for Christy is travel for a year, take care of family, and donate the rest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff. And that
if
kind
you,
of
if you have like 2 or 3 million in the bank, you can live off the interest off.
oh,
that
good
for a
lord,
while.
yeah. If you're smart and play your cards right, yeah. So that'd be the first thing is get an accountant or CPA or
Right.
somebody smarter than me that could tell me what to do and
Yeah.
not to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just a poor boy from a poor family,
He's just a poor boy.
blowing his money right, left, and center. Okay, so Christy brought something up that was actually on my as my last question to you, Joshua. Is if you could take a dream vacation, where would you go?
Oh wow. A dream. One of 2 places. I'd like to go to England just so I could visit Abbey Road Studios
Oh, okay.
and just kind of hit the historical spots in England because I watch the Great British Baking Show. That's one of my guilty pleasures.
Nice. So do we.
I love
Yeah.
the BBC stuff.
Anthony is
yeah.
obsessed with that show.
The British panel shows, love those. You're peeing all over my answer. You ever watched like QI and all those the year in review shows that they do?
No. No, I've
on-
seen like the IT crowd and some of the other BBC stuff. Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you've seen that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The episode with the work outing where they go to the play.
Yeah. That's some good stuff. And it's really well written comedy.
It really
yeah,
is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I would like to go to England because I like the attitude of the British people, and
Okay.
I also want to see Abbey Road Studios.
Nice.
I want to get my obligatory picture of me crossing the street.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And then I'd like to go back to Guatemala.
Back to Guatemala.
I went there
Like on a
mission
mission trip or something?
Well, I went there on the mission trip when I was in like 9th grade, I think, and 8th or 9th grade. And it's a beautiful country. I mean, there's turmoil, but it's like 70 degrees all year round.
Wow.
And it's got some beautiful lakes and just like to go back and visit there.
Very cool. I already saw in the comments, Christy, you and I have something else in common. So to answer that question for myself, the answer would be New Zealand.
New Zealand. Of
That's
course.
where where they filmed Lord of the
Again,
Rings. Yeah.
And off topic because I don't want to forget it.
Okay.
Buddy, if you ever go down to Arkansas, go to
Yes.
the Hobbit House.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine owns that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Graduated with high school, Michael Buckner. He
Wow.
so
Well, we might be taking a vacation this summer. So.
oh wow, yeah.
Yeah,
give
Christy
you the
says the
hookup.
Hobbit Village they built in New Zealand for sure. It's a legit place now. Yeah, you're talking about Hobbiton, and it's awesome. Holly, hey, how's it going? Yay on 70s. Yeah, I would be all for 70-degree weather year round.
Yeah.
That's hard to argue. All right, well, Josh, you want to hit me with one more, and then we'll call it a day.
Let's go with do you have any secret talents?
Secret talents.
Yeah.
Man. I'm assuming because whenever I think of this question for other people, I imagine like, oh, I can, lick my elbow, or I, like, not, I don't know. I guess physical feats of by yourself, not like I could say,
Stupid human tricks, right?
right, yeah, exactly. Like I could say, oh, I'm inclined to learn new things really quickly. Like that's a talent of mine. Like I was just talking to somebody the other day about what we do here on the show,
Mhm.
and she was like, well, oh, what college did you go to, or what did you get a degree in fine arts or media? I'm like, no, I YouTube this shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't,
Right.
and then I just trial and error. But yeah, no. So secret talents, I don't know, man. Like I used to be a good dancer. I'm old and fat now, so I probably couldn't bust a move like I used to, but I sure used to. I don't know. I guess that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. I
right.
don't know. How about you?
I juggle.
Can you really?
I can juggle.
I can only juggle like two things, and it's like the this thing. Well, I'm not even in frame. It's this. It's
Yeah.
not
That's
not
technically not juggling.
no, not at all. So nothing. I can do nothing. I can let's see here. I grew up on a farm, so whenever you've got a group of cattle, a herd, going from point A to point B, and usually they pass through a small passage so you can count them and
Right.
make sure you've got all the head. So I can count cattle really quick, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as they're passing.
Quick head count.
And that's the kind of thing you cannot mess up. That's honestly a big responsibility on the farm, and so I was really good at doing that.
So I'd always heard that it is not etiquette to ask a farmer or a rancher how many head of cattle he has, because that's like asking them how much money do you have.
Essentially, yeah.
Right.
And then it's also kind of the security thing too,
Right.
because if they're like, oh, I don't know, oh, okay, well, I know I can hit you up for some cattle then, and you're not going to miss them.
Right.
So yeah, it's kind of like, hey, how big boy are you? it's that kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's just not everybody needs to know that kind of
Right.
stuff. Yeah, but you're exactly right. It is almost an etiquette thing more than anything, because it is easy to kind of calculate if you know anything about livestock or farming and stuff. You can kind of calculate that or get thereabouts as far as income. So yeah, let's see here.
Didn't know we were going to talk about farming on this episode, did you?
Right. Yeah, there you go. Christy says there's a Hobbit place in Arkansas.
Yeah,
there is.
My friend owns that.
What do you remember the name of it? I know I've seen it
It's
on
called
Facebook.
the Hobbit House,
Hobbit House.
and Michael Buckner. He
Michael
built
Buckner.
that. Yeah.
Side note, I saw on Facebook this week that I want to say in North Carolina there's a not Hobbit, it's Harry Potter tree house in North Carolina that's really cool.
Mhm.
In fact, I think it might have been, who was that? Somebody that watches the show just went there. I think, I can't remember. I don't know. My memory sucks. There's a hidden talent. I forgot.
What, your memory sucking?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a talent. That's more of a deficit. Hey, Holly.
Right. Michael and the Hobbit House totally on that road trip. Awesome. Secret talents. Are they supposed to say secret? Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got some talents that are NSFW. Show please. No. You can still bust a move. Totally have seen it lately when you stage crash Josh's set. No, I'm not talking that kind of dancing. I'll just leave it at that. Christy Pressler says, I can do 4-leaf clover with my tongue and stand on my head. Don't ask me how I discovered this. Well, that's interesting. I can't do any of
Do
the
you
tongue
have to
thing.
do it at the same time to work?
Right. I can do cartwheels and roundoffs and that kind of stuff. A lot of people can't do that.
I used to be able to do the splits in the air.
Really?
Yeah.
In the air.
Yeah, just jumping up and.
Oh, David Lee Roth kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Gotcha. I can still do all that. It just hurts more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a question. I can't believe that was a question. I can't believe I never known this before. Before A. In Northern Cali, there are lots still. No clue. So I don't know, Josh. You got anything else?
I mean, I could ask you about your shock rock or your wrestling. Would you want to talk a
Yeah,
little bit about?
I'd say that's a good bookend. I would
Yeah.
say let's stop here and we'll pick this up some other time.
Okay.
We've got, as a matter of fact, I'm going to let you take over the show for just a second. I'm
Okay.
going to grab our calendar so we can kind of tell people what
Okay.
they're in for.
So, do you want to go to commercial then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go to commercial. So, does this go to the full screen? Yep. There we go. We're going to take a commercial break, Katie. Well,
Yeah,
hello. We're back.
Ooh, hello. We're all fuzzy. Why are we fuzzy? Let me put my hand out here and focus.
Because you hit the camera before we.
Focus.
Did you hit the camera?
Something happened.
You-
I'm not liking
I
this.
don't know.
Hey, look at my face, would you, camera? Come on, camera. I don't know what's up.
Well,
Let me. Oh, here, I'll do my Tara impression. Let me adjust the camera.
You need to unbutton a couple buttons. For
Yeah, I
that.
probably do. I don't have as much to show off though. There we go. That's better. Yes. So let's jump over here to these comments. Hobbit houses. Damn you, autocorrect. Yeah.
So what I was gonna say about the Hobbit house?
Oh my God, trampoline practice with that guitar, Josh.
Yeah, I'm too old. I will break in half trying to do that nowadays.
Yeah, a trampoline wears me out. I get out of breath anymore.
So, and it just popped into my mind.
Okay.
Michael Buckner, the guy who did the Hobbit House, was the bass player of one of the bands that I was in
No way.
high school. Yeah, so
Really?
yeah, he was. That was a short-lived band, and it went through different
Different
personnel
members.
changes.
Mhm.
But like the first gig that we did, he was the bass player. So
I'll be
and
darned.
he ran around in the group of kids that I ran around in high school. So
Wow.
yep.
Crazy. Here we go. Chris Hankins, thanks for joining us, man. Hidden talent of Joshua and Jared both. They've never been in this. They've never been seen in the same room at the same time as Batman and Robin. Just saying, you need to come out more, my friend. But you might be on something. I don't know.
Yes,
I do have a red phone over here, so yeah, it's
Yes.
like I feel like Alfred sometimes. Julia says,
Yes, good
camera
buddy."
adjustment." Yes, indeed. I don't know. That's what I was gonna say. We're gonna talk about what we got coming up. So,
Okay.
without getting into too many details as far as who we've got, because I've got some that still need to be booked and some that are going to be some that are already have confirmed guests and stuff. But so we're going to do next week a Love Songs Tournament of Champions episode. We've got
Do you have this on the graphics?
Nah.
Okay.
we've got a Talk and Shop episode coming up in 2 weeks. So that's kind of where we'll continue a little bit more of this.
Okay.
And that's we're going to be talking behind the scenes podcast stuff. I don't want to give too much away, but it's going to be fun. It might
Are we
sound
gonna
boring,
do
but
it?
it's not. It ain't. Okay, it ain't.
Are we going to do a studio tour?
We'll do a studio tour. Yeah,
I'll show you what it looks
show them
like
the
behind the
digs. Give them a little behind the scenes action. Let's see here. We've got another grunge episode. We're going to be revisiting grunge. Don't you even?
Is it going to be really grunge?
It's going to be really grunge. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and let the cat out of the bag on that one. Julia Lay Cobb is going to be making a trip all the way down from Lee Summit, Missouri to come and be on the show. So really looking forward to that. Julia is awesome as far as being a great musician, a great follower of the show, and the Unsung Dreamers. So I'm really looking forward to getting to know her in person because our paths never crossed while she was here in Springfield. So yeah, looking forward to that. We've got Pop from the year 2002 coming up. We've got a U2 episode for St. Patty's Day.
Oh,
We're gonna be-
Irish.
Yeah,
Right.
Irish. I can't do it. I shouldn't have even done that.
Kiss
We've got
the Blarney,
we've
so-
got a British invasion show that we'll be doing in March. All kinds of fun stuff coming up. So yeah, that's kind of a look into the next couple months as far as what we've got going. So should be some good stuff. And as always, man, it's all interchangeable. We can make shifts to the calendar and stuff. So if there's something that you're like, why have you not done this? Hit us up. That's what Josh was saying. Like that's what the email and the messenger and all that kind of stuff is for. Let us know. Let us know if you have somebody in mind that hasn't been on the show that you're like, man, you guys need to have this person on. Let us know. Help us make that connection. So I don't know everybody, and I can't know everybody. So yeah. I don't know, Joshua. Anything else?
Got any comments?
Got a heart and got a smoochy boochie. Snoochie boochie.
Yeah, we're more like Jay and Silent Bob, is what Kristen
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah.
Which I went as Silent Bob one year for.
Did you
a
really?
Halloween special.
That would be great. Yeah, I can see that.
I'll show you the pictures. I look like them.
I love send them because we'll
Yeah.
show them on the show.
Okay.
I think that's really going to kind of
All
wrap it up. What I need to do though is I need to take care of this. So again, I'm going to give you the show for a second, and
Okay.
I'm going to fast forward us to that spot.
Okay. So I don't know what to say. I can still hear you. So what he's doing is some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, a little behind the
Yeah,
scenes action.
it doesn't automatically advance itself. So we have to click buttons and push buttons, and they've got to be all in a certain thing. Hidden talent for Joshua and Jared. Okay. Oh, hey.
There you go.
Hello.
Nothing like some little music going on. There we go. Let me get my ears back in.
Yeah.
All right. Now
There it is.
now you can hit us one more.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't just go to that. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, we are out of time.
Out of time.
Well,
You're
this
out of time.
This went longer than I
Out
thought it
of
would.
time. Yeah.
We were planning
It
for
did.
an hour. We
Yep.
did like 2.
Yeah, we're right at 2 hours. And we wanted to keep it short because we all want to get to see the big game. And we didn't know how many people would join us. So thank you guys for joining us. That's a relief because we were like, man, is it even worth doing a show? Are we going to have like 3 people watching us? Heck no, man. We had like 15, 18 people at one point. So good stuff, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Go ahead and advance that. There you go. Final thoughts. I'm actually going to pass this over to Josh today.
Well, my final thoughts are, if you meet a musician, get to know them. They may be nice people. They may not be, but you got to get to know people. You got to build those relationships. Yep.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
I like what you did there.
Yeah.
My final thoughts are go Chiefs.
Yeah.
Hey guys, either way, no matter who wins today, just have fun with it. That's what we do here on the show too, is just have fun with things. So thanks so much for joining us. Next week, we're going to be doing Love Songs Tournament Champion. We've got all kinds of fun stuff planned. So yeah, check us out next week. In the meantime, stay cool, all that kind of good stuff. Don't forget that times are hard for everybody. So may your cup of coffee and your love of music be strong, but your sense of humor be even stronger. We'll see you next week, guys.